Good evening, everyone, and welcome to KSST and the Sulphur Springs Wildcat play-by-play game where we're taking on the Lucas Lovejoy Leopards. We are in Lucas, Texas at Lovejoy Stadium where the temperature is 94 degrees and there's a slight wind of about 6 miles an hour, which so far doesn't look like it's going to affect play. But we're waiting on the teams to come out. We're waiting on the coin toss, and we're just waiting to get started. And while we're waiting, Don, we might as well talk about the matchup tonight.
Well, it should be an interesting one. Both teams were disappointed, especially coaching staffs disappointed. I'm sure the players were too.
Sure.
Coach Owen said a humbling situation, to be in a 17-17 tie and then have the score really one-sided with Frisco Wakeland.
Second half was just brutal for them, really was.
And then it was brutal. And for Lovejoy, it was just a 13-10 loss, but it's more than just the score. The coach said, hey, it was not smart Leopard football. They didn't take care of the football. They didn't make the tackle. They, didn't have a real clean game. And I don't know, that's maybe asking a lot. It was the first game, and it just, the more I heard the Lovejoy coach talk, he sounded just like he came out of the Wildcats coaching room, because he was talking about young players and first-time Friday Night Lights. And
very similar. Very similar.
Very similar. So it's two similar teams trying to make some real progress, because, boy, the clock is not slowing down. District play starts next week for both of these teams in 9-team districts.
Right, and so we've got a good matchup. We'll see what it's like on the field when the players come out. Hopefully the Wildcats can keep it together, and really it's hard to say what really happened in the second half of the last game for the Wildcats, because they looked so good in the first half, and there were just not many penalties. I think some penalties kind of rattled them in the second half, certainly.
Terrible.
And
very disruptive.
But back to the first half of last week's game, Coach Owens came out and kicked an onside kick and recovered it, went down and scored, and then had to kick off again. So, my gosh, let's do it again, another onside kick, and they recovered it. So we're hoping to see some excitement like that tonight in this game. But you never know. It's high school football. It's Friday night at Lovejoy Stadium with the Leopards.
We better get into the starting lineups so that we don't get trapped here. I already see look like there's 5 captains down there for Lovejoy getting ready to come out for a coin toss kind of situation. But the Wildcats have not put in an appearance yet. In fact, I don't think Lovejoy has either. I don't think they came running out.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
The captains are out there. So maybe they're going to. Who knows? We're not involved in the scheduling on that. So let's talk about the lineup while we can.
All right, let's start with the offense for the Lovejoy Leopards. Their quarterback, a good one. He can really run and pass. His name is R.W. Rucker. He can wrestle you too, and he plays baseball.
He's a junior.
Yes, a junior quarterback. He was a all-district free safety last year. We missed seeing him because of a game that was stormed out at the Prim. Their running back is Taylor Collier. They have their 4 wide receivers, Harper Poole, also Luke Mayfield, Leighton Archer, and Reed Westervelt is supposed to be the best one. And Coach Cipolletta, if you're listening, they tell me Reed plays a little basketball. Clark probably knows that. He knows everything, I think, when it comes to basketball. As far as the offensive line for the Lovejoy Leopards, left tackle is a big one, Tyler Beidelman. Left guard is Grant Sessions. The center is Trent Robinson. Right guard, this guy's huge, 310 pounds, is Parker Braithwaite. The right tackle is Sean Sumners. And their kicker, by the way, is Tyler Loop. Chad liked that name.
I did like that. It sounds like some road construction, actually, to me. I'm not making fun. It just, I thought it sounded very interesting. And only one kicker listed on their roster for all the kicking, so we'll see if that's what actually happens.
Here comes Lovejoy, by the way. Right. Their Texas Tech-like uniforms with the red tops and black pants and black helmets with red on there. But let's get into the Wildcats defense that will face that Lovejoy offense. Nose tackle is Alex Rodriguez and the defensive tackles, DeAndre Peoples and Cameron Coffert, who both of those guys had pretty good games last week for the Wildcats. Their inside linebackers, Ryan Carrillo and also George Greenway. Outside linebackers, Aiden Walker and also Kylan Way. Cornerbacks, Dominique Sims and Dietrich Clayton, and the safeties are Chase Haney and Cordarian Bull Turner, a sophomore. So that's the offense or the defense for the Wildcats. And now let's look at the Leopards' defense. So they're 4-3. As Chad will be watching the coin toss and will let us know exactly what happens as I try to rip through the defense here. Let's start with the defensive ends, Sean Sumners and also Brian Kotecki. Defensive tackles are Marco Dieterle and also Tyler Beidelman. The three linebackers in the middle, Austin King, and on the outsides are Philip Jost and also Blake Slaughter. On the corners, Ryan Scott and also Chief Collins, and the safeties are Mason Melendez, and the free safety is Quinn McDermott. He's a real good one. Wildcats now on offense, and Chad, tell us.
Yeah, it looks like that Lovejoy has won the toss, and but they're going to receive. So.
Okay,
it's kind of like what
weird.
That's kind of like what happened last week.
Yes,
so.
And that's weird. Usually, almost 90% of the time, the team wins the toss, they defer. And but this for 2 weeks in a row now, the team has we've lost the toss.
Now, they're already having a discussion out there with the referees. So and they keep talking back and forth and changing. So we're going to see when they line up what it's actually going to be.
All right. Well, okay. Let me get into the Wildcats offense now. Left tackle is Chandler Leo. Left guard is Ryan Hammonds. Center Stephen Janitis. Right guard Alfredo Olavide. Right tackle is Giovanni Pisano. Quarterback is Caden Wallace. Running back is Chalk Sims. The slot receivers are Bryant Sanchez and Chase Haney. And the outside receivers are Noe Ponce and Bryson Lacey. And if they use a B-back, that will be Cameron Coffert, at least as the starters. And that does the starting lineups. And as looks like we've got some preliminary stuff probably leading into the national anthem.
Yeah, it looks like they're presenting the colors here. I think, James, we're going to take a quick break and then just come back to us. All right, and we're back at Lovejoy Stadium for the Sulphur Springs Wildcats and the Lovejoy Leopards. Kickoff is coming up in just a moment. We're going to have the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff, the home of the $100 discount for every Wildcat touchdown. The next Saturday after the game, of course, which is tomorrow. So we're hoping for a lot of touchdowns by the Wildcats to get a better deal on a vehicle.
We're pretty close to starting on time here. The way that this thing was rolling out looked like it was really going to be delayed, but they've kind of
caught
their
up
way
there.
through here.
Yes.
Yeah, they really have.
Yeah, we had captains lining up before the teams came out, and then so it was a little confusing. They presented the colors a little bit differently than they have done in the past, and so that's kind of confusing for us. But the
drill teams are making their way off the field. Those Blue Blazes to our right, Christy McCullough's bunch, as they are heading for their seating here. Lovejoy is out, and they certainly have
so it looks like
to be a kicking
formation. Right. It looks like the confusion was they turned around and they switched ends the way they were lined up, and I think they had lined up incorrectly. So now they're lined up properly, and the Lovejoy Leopards will receive. Of course, the Wildcats will be kicking off, and it looks like we've got our favorite kicker down there, number 13,
Brandon Zavala.
But we also have OC down there right next to him, and
can do something tricky.
Right, they can always do something tricky. Here comes the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff.
All right, Brandon Zavala ready to kick, and boy, Lovejoy has scouted the Wildcats. They are looking for the onside kick here, as they have nobody inside the 10-yard line. Here's Zavala. He kicks the ball. It is an onside kick, and the Wildcats recover, and down the sideline. Well, they'll stop the play right away, but let's see. I don't see a flag down.
No, he caught it in the air. It went to 10 yards.
So that should be, maybe it's just, I thought he had a chance to run that. Maybe that's a college rule, and I apologize. But the Wildcats have done it again, and I did not see who recovered that.
12.
Oh, Aiden Walker. All right. First down and 10 for the Wildcats. They have done it again.
Another onside kick.
And, it's not like Lovejoy didn't see that. In fact, Coach Ford was talking about Kylan Wade recovering that first one. Here's Wallace. Passes out to Brian Sanchez, and Brian Sanchez moves down to the 45-yard line. 3 yards on the completion up to the 45-yard line. Second down and 7 for the Wildcats at the Lovejoy 45, and this Wildcat team moving fast here. Caden Wallace back in the backfield. Takes the snap and will pitch, and here's Sanchez around the corner across the 40. And he will be tackled right at the mark needed for the first down.
It's going to be close.
Yes, it is. It's. I think it's enough. The official will eyeball it over there.
Going to mark it.
And they're moving the
first
chain.
Down.
First down, Chad.
Yes, so here comes our very first Hooten's Hardware first down. Hooten's Hardware, they're more than just nuts and bolts.
Are you hooting and hollering? Is that for Hooten's Hardware?
I was hoping you were going to work that in.
Oh, my.
I really was.
Do they really use that? I just kind of made that up.
Oh, that was the first time I've heard that.
First down and 10 from the 38-yard line for the Wildcats. Caden Wallace takes a snap, and a running play to the left. That's Caden Davis, and Davis makes some yardage.
He keeps fighting.
Gets down to the 36. That's a gain of 2 on the play, and I think he made most of that. A lot of it was just some sheer power there. Second down and 8 for the Wildcats at the Lovejoy 36-yard line. Good start to this ball game. I like it so far. And once again, Wallace from the shotgun. 2 receivers left and right, and Davis to his right. Wallace takes the snap, fake to the back, throws down the field. The ball is caught inside the 30-yard line for the Wildcats, down to the 29. That'll be a yard short of the first down, and the catch was made by Landry Meskimen. So Landry Meskimen, number 1 in the heart of his daddy up here that's coaching next to us, and number 22 on the program, by the way. Third down and 1 for the Wildcats at the 29-yard line. And again, Caden Wallace from the shotgun. We'll take the snap. Hand off to Davis. He has the first down across the 25 to the 20 and knocked down at about the 17-yard line for another first down for the Wildcats.
Another Hooten's Hardware first down. Here it comes. That was a good run.
Yes, it was. A very good hole on that right side over there for the Wildcats. So hats off to those big fellows on the right side. So first and 10, the Wildcats are in, Matt Young does not call it the red zone. I'll talk about that. Here's a handoff, a running play down to about the 16. That's a gain of about 2. It'll be second down and 8 for the Wildcats. He does not call it the red zone. Red means stop. Matt Young calls it the green zone. He wants to go all the way to the end zone. Second down and 8 from the 16. And now Chalk Sims is in there. He'll be to the left of Caden Wallace. Trip receivers off to the left side, single receiver to the right. Wallace takes the snap, fakes to the running back, pass to Sanchez across the 15. Sanchez to the 10 and maneuvers inside the 10. Looks like down to about the 8 or so. And again, that'll be very close to the mark. I think he came up short on this. I think they're going to mark it on the 9. So it'll be third down and 1. A huge play for the Wildcats here in the early going. 8:28 still left in the first quarter. Wildcats 0 and Lovejoy 0, but the Wildcats on their first drive moving smartly down the field, and they have this third and 1 from the 9. And again, Wallace from the shotgun. Will take the snap, and he hands off. Chalk Sims toward the end zone. He scores, but I saw a yellow flag come flying in, and one of the Lovejoy players came up with this, "Hey, I was held." Yep, and the official unfortunately agrees, and so that will wipe out the touchdown by Chalk Sims.
And he went in standing up, too. That was a great run, but
and as
10-yard penalty.
The Lovejoy team would say, yeah, well, those plays work a lot better when somebody's hanging on. So now that changes the complexion of this play considerably now, as it's going to be 3rd and
should be 11
from the 19. So now it turns into a real tester here. So Matt Young, who is just to my right, will have to come up with the right answer. Trip receivers off to the right and 2 receivers to the left. Wallace with a empty backfield behind him. Will take the snap. He's looking down the field. He throws an out pattern. It's caught across the 20. Chalk Sims across the 15 to the 10. And Chalk has a first down as he gets down around the 6. Boy, a beautiful run by Chalk Sims after that catch. That'll be a 13-yard completion down to the 6-yard line.
And yet another Hootens Hardware first down in the red zone for the Wildcats.
So that was a huge play. And 2 receivers off to the left, a single receiver off to the right for Wallace. And he will hand off to Sims again, and Sims will hit around the 5-yard line. A lot of congestion in there. The 2nd and goal for the Wildcats from the 5-yard line. Seeing who some of these receivers are. Noticed Meskimen just from the start tonight. I got Noe Ponce out there. Davis comes in.
Sanchez got to touch the ball quite a bit, and he's lined up on both sides.
And a very exciting receiver off to the right all by himself, Kylan Wade. He'll be one to watch on this play. Here's the snap, and just as I say that, handoff to Davis. And he had Leopards on his back from the beginning, and he's spilled back at the 6. 3rd and goal for the Wildcats offense.
Back where they started, he lost a yard that he gained on the previous play.
So here comes another big 3rd down play for the Wildcats.
6 minutes and 27 seconds in the first quarter. The Wildcats have had the ball the entire quarter from their onside kick.
Yeah, they started at the 48. Lovejoy territory. So big 3rd down play here for the Wildcats. Wallace will take the snap. He throws toward Kylan Wade. It's a fade. He goes up and he got it. No, touchdown Wildcats.
Absolutely.
As he hit Kylan Wade on the fade, and Kylan made a beautiful catch from Caden Wallace with a pass.
And Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats. That was a fantastic 6-yard play from Wallace to the receiver on that, Don, you said was Kylan Wade. And here comes the extra point attempt. There's too many men on the field, it looks like, and now there's a penalty against...
a little bit slow getting off there.
So it's going to be against the Wildcats.
That'll cost them 5 on the extra point. So Brandon Zavala will be called to kick what will basically feel a little bit more like a field goal here. It'll be like a 25-yard field goal. The ball will now be marked at the 15-yard line, and begin, I believe, Commander Cody there, Campbell Cody, will be doing the holding. A good snap. The ball is down. Here's the kick by Zavala. The kick is good by Brandon Zavala. 6:07 left in the first quarter. New score here from Leopard Stadium in Lucas. It's the Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 7 and Lovejoy 0. Let's take a break. Back in a moment.
We're back at Lovejoy Stadium and ready for the kickoff for the Wildcats.
This is a special kickoff, but we may give you that info after the kick here by Brandon Zavala. Let's see if they dare to do it again. Zavala approaches another onside kick. This one scoots out of bounds. Boy, it hit and just it looked like a rock on the lake there that just zipping across there. That did not take that high bounce, and it'll be out of bounds, and I imagine the mark there will be where Lovejoy takes it. That was a special kickoff by the guy that loaned us a car to get over here tonight.
That's right, the J. Hodge Chevrolet. We're going to change that to the J. Hodge Chevrolet onside kick when the Wildcats have the ball, because that's all they've done. And they're 1 for 2 now tonight. Coach Owens on his onside kick. Here comes the Lovejoy offense.
And we suffered our first penalty yardage due to that. Kicking the ball out of bounds is called delay of game, and it's Lovejoy now from the 47-yard line
of the Wildcats.
Wildcats territory. And R.J. Trey Rucker is the quarterback for Lovejoy. He can really run. Back in the pocket, throws it down the field. The ball is caught in the secondary across down to the 34-yard line.
Number 13.
And coming up with it, Chad had the number there. That's Luke Mayfield. So Rucker hits his first pass of the night to Mayfield. And so back in the shotgun now, 1st and 10 for Lovejoy at the 34-yard line in Wildcats territory. Fake to the running back. Rucker back to pass. He throws an out pattern, caught, and first down out of bounds.
The ball's on the ground.
Oh, they say he dropped the ball, huh? So incomplete pass. Apologize for that. Again, Mayfield, the target, has been on both the plays. So 2nd down and 10 now from the 34-yard line. Wildcats, by the way, went 48 yards on the touchdown drive to take that 7-0 lead. So 2nd and 10 now from the 34-yard line, and Rucker back to pass. He's got time back there, a lot of time. Now he throws a pass. It is caught in the secondary and dropped at the 30-yard line.
Number 7.
And that pass complete to Leighton Archer. And Chad working like a excellent spotter there. Feeding me those numbers.
Numbers
there.
are a little small on their uniforms, I have to say.
Yeah, Leighton Archer with a catch, his first catch. 3rd down now and 6 for Lovejoy at the Wildcats 30, and you wonder if this might be 4-down territory here. Again, R.W. Rucker, the quarterback. He'll take the snap. He's back in that pocket, gets a rush this time, and he escaped the tackle, and now he's looking to run, but he is held in there by the Wildcats. Good play there by Ryan Carrillo, not letting him escape. Good play, Ryan, and that'll be 3rd down and coming up, actually 4th down and now 6.
Yeah, got back to the line of scrimmage. He didn't make any yardage on the 30-yard line.
And sure enough, they are going for it here on 4th and 6 from the 30. Big play for the Wildcats defense. 2 receivers left and right, and a running back back there with the quarterback. That's Noah Nadeau, a young sophomore. And there's a snap back to Rucker. He's in that pocket now thinking about scrambling. Oh, he ran into one of his own men, but he will escape and gain the 1st down. As even running into one of his own players, he's knocked down at the 23-yard line. In on the tackle was Dietrich Clayton, but not soon enough. 1st down and 10 for Lovejoy. They get a new set of downs at the Wildcats' 23-yard line. That was a huge play, but once again, that running quarterback, his legs, his best asset, according to Coach Owens. Trip receivers off to the left, one to the right, and here's a running play by Nadeau right up the middle. Now he breaks it to the outside. He's down in around the 10-yard line for the 1st down, and 1st down, and let's just say goal to go just inside the 10-yard line for Lovejoy. The chains are already putting them down on the ground. They're going to take these off here as it's a goal to go. So the Leopards trying to tie the ball game here. 3:35 left in the 1st quarter. Wildcats leading 7-0. Back to Rucker. This is a designed run across the 10, down inside the 5, and all the way down to about the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal for Lovejoy. And that was, we heard about that in Coach Owens' media gathering, how that Lovejoy will run plays designed for the quarterback to take off and run.
He scrambled and got through the first line of the Wildcat defense and really kept motoring on.
Back to Rucker now. Here's a handoff, and running back is going to be into the end zone for a touchdown. And that was okay. That was Austin King, which we thought might be the starting running back. He was not. But Austin King on a 2-yard touchdown run, and my goodness, we may have a scoring fest tonight, as both teams have utilized their first drives, and both went about the same distance. 48 yards for the Wildcats, 47 for Lovejoy. And this is Tyler Loop. I know the Tyler Loop. That goes all the way around it, doesn't it? Here's the extra point now for Lovejoy. Good snap. Here's Loop's kick, and it is sprayed through there, and the kick is good. So 3:01 left in what has been an exciting 1st quarter so far from Lucas Leopard Stadium. It's the Wildcats 7 and Lovejoy 7. We'll take a break. Back in a moment.
And we're back at Lovejoy High School, Lovejoy Stadium, where the Leopards and the Wildcats are tied up 7-7 with only 3:01 left in the first quarter. We're waiting for the Jayhawk Chevrolet kickoff, where the Wildcats will receive from the Leopards after their last score.
Wildcats have trip receivers back for this kickoff, and kicking off is a different player than we saw in the extra point. This is Trent Rucker. You would think he's probably related to the quarterback. He kicks a short pooch kick. Fair catch called for by the Wildcats. Wiley Bennett made the fair catch for the Wildcats, and that was at the 33-yard line. Let's make sure I got that right. 32-yard line.
Correct.
So first down and 10 for the Wildcats at their own 32 after the fair catches. That was kind of pooched into no man's land there, and Bennett did a good job of falling back, calling for the fair catch, and making that catch. So the Wildcats have it at their own 32.
Yeah, it looks like we had Kylan Wade back there to receive the kick, and Davis and Sims.
Now we have also two running backs with Wallace back there. He fakes and now throws down the field. Oh, it hit off the Wildcats receiver. Thank goodness that hit the ground. It went off Aiden Walker and bounced high in the air, but luckily Lovejoy could not run under it. So 2nd and 10 after the incompleted pass, and ball at the 32-yard line in Wildcats territory. And again, Sims and Davis are on both sides, or one on each side of Caden Wallace. Two receivers right, one to the left. This will be a running play, and this is Sims hitting up in there. Sims moving all the way down to the 37-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats at the 38-yard line.
2:38 left in the first quarter. Wildcats in their own territory, which is they started a little deeper the last run after their onside kick.
It was actually, let's say, 6 yards on the run there by Jock Sims. An empty backfield again for the Wildcats. 3 receivers off to the right, 2 to the left. Wallace back to pass, throws it down the field. The ball is caught. Well, breaking the tackle is Zach Tiemeyer, and Tiemeyer is down to the 46-yard line. Boy, did he have an exciting play last week. And 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. I know I said that I thought Owens was going to give him a hard time. He said no. He is so proud of that young man who's worked so hard as a JV player last year, and just a hard worker to make himself a good football player. They're not about to kind of throw that player under the bus.
Big first down in Leopard territory. Another Hootens Hardware first down.
Way to go, Chad. And 1st down and 10 from the 46-yard line. Fake. Wallace back to pass. Now he's scrambling out of the backfield. Gets chased and throws the ball toward Tiemeyer down into the ground. And I think Wallace learned that from last week, because he tried to force one in, and it resulted in his first interception of the year. And just dawned on me that pass to Colin Wade was Wallace's first varsity touchdown. So congratulations to Caden Wallace for hitting pay dirt with that pass to Colin Wade, also known in the circles as K-Row.
K-Row.
Now trip receivers off to the left for the Wildcats. 2nd down and 10 from the 46-yard line. Wallace one back over there this time. Single receiver off to the right. And now here's a handoff. Davis. Davis tried to squeeze through a couple of Leopards, and then will pick up a yard. Took a while to squeeze through there, and by then the Leopards had him, and they dropped him at the 45-yard line. 9 yards needed. 3rd and 9 for the Wildcats at the Lovejoy 45-yard line.
1 minute and 20 seconds left in this quarter.
We're tied at 7 with the Leopards and the Wildcats in this cat fight here from Lucas. Caden Wallace back in the shotgun, takes the snap, getting a rush around the edges, and he is going to be trapped back there. He tried to run through it and was dropped for a loss at the 49-yard line, and that will cause the Wildcats, we would think, to bring in the punting unit, and we see Noe Ponce heading back to that position to have our first punt here on a 4th down and looks like about 13 play.
He'll be punting from the 49-yard line in Leopard territory.
hard to tell what the wind is doing out there. I don't see any flags to even tell. Here's the snap back to Ponce. It is a good one, and Noe puts a foot into it, a high, deep kick. Fair catch called for and made by Lovejoy at the 15-yard line. And again, that receiver that we've called on several times, Luke Mayfield, made the catch, and they're going to mark it at the 16. So Lovejoy will start their second drive of the night with just 24 seconds left here in the first quarter. Wildcats 7 and Lovejoy 7, and the Leopards have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 16. And here comes Rucker and company. Good-looking young quarterback.
24 seconds on the game clock, 22 seconds on the play clock.
And Rucker back ready for the snap here. Has a running back with him back there. Two receivers left and right. They look like nothing's going to happen until they snap the ball, except they could run out of time. They've got to snap this in 5 seconds.
The game clock is stopped, of course.
There they go. They got it in time. Rucker back to pass. He is looking to scramble there, and now here comes Wade. But the Wildcats do get to him. There were a couple of tacklers there that made the sack down there. If I can get their numbers.
Not sure that...
one of them was George Greenway, and looks like the other one, well, I don't know. That was Aiden Walker. And that is the end of the first quarter here from Leopard Stadium in Lucas. And we've played one here from Lucas. It's the Wildcats 7 and Lovejoy 7. So we'll take a break. We'll be back with the start of the second quarter right after this.
And we're back at Lovejoy Stadium in Lucas, Texas, where the Wildcats are taking on the Leopards. The score is tied 7-7. We're at the beginning of the second quarter, waiting for it to start. The Lovejoy Leopards have the ball, and it's second and about 10.
That's back 16, actually. No, you're right.
They're on the 16-yard line.
Oh, I see.
On their own 16-yard lines. They've got a long way to go, so the Wildcats hopefully can keep them back in their own territory.
Is there remedial scoreboard reading?
Well, it is a little...
Take a quick course here.
The Jumbotron is a little difficult to read, I will admit.
Well, yeah, it's right there. Well, that's second quarter anyway, so that's not second and 16. It's second and 10 from the 12, as Chad pointed out, and so...
You can't even see what down it is on that scoreboard, but somehow I remembered that from before the break, I think, that it's second down.
It's got second outside that down, I think.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of, instead of the number 2, like you normally, it just says 2ND. And
I probably shouldn't have to use my binoculars for that big scoreboard, but...
that's kind of crammed in there,
yep.
And it's kind of lighter than the rest of the stuff. So.
It's almost like they're waiting on a television break. Here they come. They're coming up to the line of scrimmage.
I think Butch Burney, and when we played ESPN, I think he was the flag man. And he would explain when the 60 seconds happened, and then they would know that they could start the game. So here we are, second down and 10 from the 17-yard line. It's back to Rucker. Rucker back to pass, and now he's scrambling out of there, throws the ball down the field. It is caught. First down and 10 for the Leopards at the 30-yard line, and that one was completed to Leighton Archer, actually the 31-yard line. So first down and 10 for the Leopards as they've converted some key third down plays. Here's a running play for Nadeau, and Nadeau moves the ball up the field to about the 14. That'll be a gain of 3 on the play. Second down and 7. I read about Nadeau in Texas Football Magazine, and they were saying, hey, they just list him as an athlete. They say, we're not sure where this guy's going to play, but he's too good of an athlete not to be playing somewhere, so they've got Nadeau right now from the running back position. Second down and 7 now from the 34. R.W. Rucker back in the shotgun for the Leopards, takes the snap, and he is under pressure, and the Wildcats will get him down on the ground right at the line of scrimmage, so I don't think you get a sack for that. The coaching staff may give it to him, but a good surge on that defensive line.
Yeah, it's he was wrapped up there, but he can scramble and run the ball.
Oh, that no doubt about it. I got that indication from every coach. Third down and going to be about 7 now for Lovejoy from the 34-yard line. Rucker almost looking in the sideline as he's waiting for the snap. Now takes the ball. He's back in the pocket. He fires the ball down the field. Looked like it hit the ground, and the coaches are certainly saying so, and the official will say no catch. And so Lovejoy will now be punting the ball away, and it's going to be that same guy that kicked off, Chad, the answer to the mystery question of who their punter might be, and it will
Tyler
be
Loop.
No, actually.
It's the kickoff.
Trent Rucker.
Gotcha. Oh, we think it could possibly be the brother of the quarterback there.
Yeah,
it's the same last name, Rucker.
Did the kickoff. We assume that. He could be a cousin. We had Ivories that were cousins in Sulphur Springs. And here's the kick by Rucker. It's going to be down the field. The Wildcats are letting it bounce now, picking it up across the 25 to the 30. This is Chase Haney across the 45. Chase to the 50, to the 45. Breaking tackles, moving straight ahead to the 35. And then finally somebody got around that ankle and tripped him up. But what a beautiful punt return by Chase Haney all the way to the 32-yard line. And I'm not sure where was it, 25?
Between the 25 and 30 is where he received the ball. So
I would say 25 and
15. He would at least a 40-yard.
43-yard punt return is what I would give that one. So a nice return there by Chase Haney.
And we have a Houghton Hardware first down coming up for the Wildcats.
Trip receivers off to the right and single receiver to the left for Caden Wallace. He takes the snap and he hands off. Chalk Sims, big hole across the 30 to the 25. And Chalk will move down around the 24-yard line. He's 2 yards short of the first down. Second down and 2 for the Wildcats. Nice big holes by that offensive line. Those guys look like they've come light years.
And every indication was he was going to throw the ball. And he handed it off to Chalk Sims, and he just ran through a huge hole. 2
receivers left and right for Caden Wallace. With the running back there, fake to the running back. Wallace throws an out pattern. The ball is caught across the 10-yard line. I believe that was Bryson Lacey.
Yes, it was.
On the catch, as Chad again, a spotter on the spot, as that was first down and 10 for the Wildcats down at the 19 after that catch. Way to go, Lacey.
A little extra effort there, put him past the first down marker.
And it looked like a design play where Lacey caught the ball and was getting a good block from a Wildcat receiver. I did not catch who that was. Here's the first down play and a handoff. Chalk Sims across the 20, Chalk across the 15, and Chalk will rumble down around the 13-yard line. It's going to be about 4 yards short of the first down around the 13 after a good 6-yard run by Chalk Sims.
That was a great Houghton Hardware first down run by Chalk Sims. Another big hole. They figured that out on that defensive line of the Leopards.
Boy, these Wildcat offensive linemen, hats off to them early in this ball game. Again, Wallace back in the shotgun. Will take the snap. A fake, and now the flag flies. An illegal procedure on the Wildcats that'll cost them 5 yards. So, not sure. Somebody moved too early. And for just a second, I flashed back to that second half of the Wakeland game, but I'll try to get out of there because that is some area I do not want to go back to. That is a bad place in the brain to remember some of that. But was a lot of flags, and that's just one, and I think they've had 2 on the night one after kicking the ball out of bounds. So
Chalk Sims having a good night. He's already racked up 33 yards.
Good for Chalk. And Caden Wallace back in the shotgun has 2 running backs now back there. Fake to the running back. Wallace will throw the ball down the field. It's up in the air and intercepted at around the 2-yard line. The ball was knocked high in the air, and the Wildcats were trying to get it. Had a receiver trying to get it. I believe that was Kylan Wade down there, and Lovejoy picked it off, and I did not see the player that got the interception.
There was a couple of red jerseys down there. It looked like they were just all over him when the ball got there. And it just didn't turn out well for the Wildcats. The Leopards are going to be pushed back all the way on their own 2-yard line. So hopefully the Wildcats can keep them back in their own territory.
That is the silver lining there, is the fact that the ball is on the 2. And a lot of weird, strange things can happen when you've got the ball inside your own 5-yard line. And Lovejoy down at their own 2, first down and 10. and Rucker back there, and now they've gone to a double running back set. And before they can snap the ball, boy, they don't have much penalty to yardage to give up, but I think they just lost 1 yard.
Half the distance to the goal, I'm sure.
That's what it is. I don't know if we're getting the mic'd officials tonight.
No, there's no...
And I didn't see an indication either. It had to be an illegal procedure. It was thrown before the play ever started.
And against the Leopards.
So first down and 11 from the 1 yard line. Back to Rucker, and here's a handoff to a running back straight ahead. And oh, what a surge all the way up to the 10-yard line.
Number 20.
And that was Austin King. He scored the touchdown for Lovejoy. So now it's second down and 2. And the Wildcats had a man in the backfield. The running back straight ahead will get the first down. I don't see a flag, though.
It's over on the other side by the 10-yard line.
You're right. I do see a flag. And the early start over there for the Wildcats. And
the office going to decline that. Yeah.
Well, they might. They'd get more yardage if they'll take the penalty. They'll give them a couple of more yards.
And they're moving the chains, and they're about to mark it off.
Yeah, now they do give them that extra 2 yards. So
there it is.
Offside Wildcats.
8:09 left in the second quarter. The Leopards are backed up on their own 15-yard line, but they've got making good progress. First and 10.
7-7 is our score. First down and 10 from the 15-yard line, and it's back to Rucker. Another handoff straight ahead as they've just gone to some bull power behind that huge offensive line, and this was about a 4-yard gain. And again, Austin King, the running back, who also is their middle linebacker on defense, doing what the Wildcats do too. A lot of players playing both sides of the ball. So second down and 6 for Lovejoy at the 19-yard line. Rucker has 2 receivers left and right with the running back next to him. Will take the snap and hand off to Nadeau, and he tries to break a tackle, moves it up to around the 23, and he will be short of the first down by, let's call it 3 yards. Let's call it the 22 and say that it's 3 yards short of the first down. So 3rd and 3, big play for the Wildcats defense as they would like to get that ball back. And Rucker back in the shotgun for the Leopards. Now he's looking toward the sideline. He's got 2 receivers off to the right, 2 to the left with that running back, again, Nadeau, with him. And now timeout taken by Lovejoy. 6:59 left in the second quarter. Lovejoy 7, the Wildcats 7. We'll take a break here. Back in a moment.
And welcome back to Lovejoy Stadium. The Leopards, 3rd down and 2. Go ahead, Don.
All right, 6:59 left here in the second quarter. Chad said 3rd down and 2. Actually, I'm going to say more like 3. And Rucker back in the shotgun, takes the snap and hands off a running back, King trying to move forward. And the Wildcats are not going to have any of it as they stop that play at the 24-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 1 as King just got a couple of yards. And he was stopped as he tried to push by those defenders, and they would have none of it, and they pushed him back. And it's punt time now for the Lovejoy Leopards.
His forward progress gave him a couple of yards, but it just wasn't enough. So
he needed 3 and got about 2.
They're pushed so far back.
Trent Rucker now. We're assuming some relative of the quarterback, same last name. And so Trent Rucker back to punt for Lovejoy, gets a good snap, and will boot it out of there. This is a high and short kick, and it's going to hit but take a huge roll, and the Wildcats are going to let it go on by, and it's going to cost them another about 23 yards in roll as that ball all the way inside the 20. Got a huge roll, a really short kick, but hey, it's the result that counts, right? First down and 10 for the Wildcats. They'll take over at their own 17-yard line. And that was a 59-yard kick, that little short kick I was talking about. But it must have had, I'd say, at least 20 on the roll.
Oh, absolutely. So here come the Wildcats for another Hooten's Hardware first down. Hooten's Hardware, they're more than just nuts and bolts.
And a single receiver off to the left, trip receivers to the right. As I noticed, King came in very late there after having a lot of offensive plays. Kind of reminds me of the Wildcats. Now a snap to Wallace, and once again the yellow laundry is on the ground in an illegal procedure. That's the second one of those that we've seen, and that just I would say turn Coach Owens' hair gray, but, well, maybe I better stop right there. What do you think, Chad?
Yeah, maybe so.
I was looking at his
personal there
picture on the Wildcat wall, by the way, of Greg Owens and that nice blonde head of hair he had as a player for Stephen F. and the Wildcats.
Push back 5 yards.
First down and 15. Back to Wallace. He will hand off on a draw play, kind of shedding the tacklers, and now moving out of there across the 15. Davis across the 20, and what a good run by Davis. He looked trapped back there, and he ran it all the way up to the 24-yard line. He's going to be about 3 yards short of the first down. So what a nice run by Caden Davis, who looked kind of blocked in back there and was able to gain a lot.
Yeah, he picked up about 13 yards on that because they were pushed back 5, and now they've got just 3 to go.
There you go from the 14-yard or 24-yard line. Caden Wallace back in the shotgun, takes the snap, fake to the running back. He throws the pass out. It is caught. First down for the Wildcats. Once again, Lacey makes the catch. I'm not sure he had a catch last week. He's got, I'll check that, but he's got a couple tonight, and he's looked very good out there. First and 10 for the Wildcats at the 35-yard line in their own territory.
Yeah, I think he had one catch last week, but he lost a yard on that one. He was just down. He had a total of -1 yards last week, so he's getting the ball a lot more, doing a lot with it. Here comes the Hootens Hardware first down.
Oh, you nailed it. I was going to sneak it in there. I thought you had forgotten. Here's Wallace passing. It's caught, and right around the 40-yard line, then the player knocked out of bounds, and that was Zach Tiemeyer. That's his second catch of the night, as once again he is really looking like a productive receiver, and another one in there that Landry Meskimen, I think, will prove to be that way. They've also got Lacey in there, and then one receiver down below us. We'll have to pick his number up as we can. Wallace takes the snap and throws an out pattern, and how about right now? That was the player that caught the ball, but he was already down on the ground and caught it for a loss of yardage. That was Noe Ponce on the catch, and Noe will be marked down at the 39-yard line, a net loss of 1. So now 3rd down and 6 for the Wildcats. As a player, we were trying to get his number, and they threw the ball right to him. So big 3rd down play for the Wildcats. We have 4:47 left here in the second quarter, and it's Wildcats 7 and Lovejoy 7. And Caden Wallace in a bare naked backfield now. Takes the snap. He's looking and throws down the field. Caught. Chase Haney across the 40 to the 35. Chase inside the 30-yard line, and finally tackled down at the 26. Another big long play by Chase Haney. He had one on a punt return, and first down and 10 for the Wildcats at the 26-yard line in Leopard territory.
So that's about, 40-yard gain, it looks like.
Wow, I'll take your word for it on that one.
I'm going to have to back that up and see where he was. So.
And now back to Wallace, and Wallace will hand off the running back. This is Davis. He escaped tacklers, and if he could have just maintained his balance, but he was leaning so far, and he was almost all the way down to the ground. But
he was
really
about to get
nice
sacked right at the line of scrimmage.
He was bottled up.
Yeah.
Second down and about 6 needed for the Wildcats, as they are down on the 22-yard line. You'll want to see the video of that. That was an incredible run. Watch Doug's video when he gets it all together. Wallace back in the pocket is being chased, and he's going to be sacked and loses the football. It's down on the ground, a big scramble for it, but I think the Wildcats got it back. What a big time play by a Wildcat player going back to pick up that ball, and that was Aiden Walker. Aiden was Johnny on the spot, going back and recovering that ball at the 47 in Wildcats territory after a sack, and the ball was fumbled. And now it's going to be 3rd and half a mile, as the play has to go all the way down to the 17-yard line. So that's 33 plus another. This will be 36. The scoreboard says, I'm going to say 36. Third and 36 for the Wildcats. Wallace will take the snap. His pass is tipped and knocked to the ground as he tried to get it out to Walker. And it'll be fourth down for the Wildcats. And still they will need 36 or 37 yards for a first down. So it'll take a whale of a Noe Ponce punt to get to the first down marker. As 2:55 are left here in the second quarter, boy, the Wildcats looked like they had it going there, but boy, the sack and the big fumble set things back there. But the score remains tied at 7 with 2:55 to play. And Noe Ponce expected to punt right here. Ponce takes the snap and boots the ball down the field, and it's going to hit and just about pretty neutral, but finally goes the Wildcats' way a couple of yards down to the 16-yard line. And you know what? Noe Ponce punted it right down to the first down marker. That's about the spot they needed right there. So first down for Lovejoy, and they'll take over at their own 16-yard line.
Yeah, tough series for the Wildcats there. The huge Haney pass reception and run did a great job, got them all the way down there. And then with the Caden Wallace trying to scramble and avoid being sacked, lost the ball, and
he just a big fella down there with really good foot speed, able to chase him down and then somehow rocked him as he hit the ground, and that ball popped out. But great job by Aiden Walker to save the Wildcats, all kinds of field position. R.W. Rucker now back in the shotgun. He's got trip receivers off to the left and a single receiver to the right in this 7-7 ball game. And now timeout taken. This is the second timeout we've seen from Lovejoy as they just needed to talk things over here. 2:43 left here in the second quarter. Wildcats 7, Lovejoy 7. We'll take a break here. Back in a moment. Back to play, first down and 10 from the 16-yard line. R.W. Rucker takes the snap. He's back to pass, has all kinds of time, throws it out of there, and it is, dropped out there across the 30-yard line. Tried to get it over to Luke Mayfield, and Mayfield could not hang on, and so it's second down and 10. And I'm wondering if they're double covering number 9, who was expected to really draw a lot of throws tonight, but they have not gone in his general direction. They've thrown to Mayfield quite a bit.
Yeah, he was wide open, and lucky break for the Wildcats because he just dropped the ball as soon as it hit his hands, and he could have been a big play for him, but
really could
second down.
So second down and 10 now from the 17-yard line for the Lovejoy Leopards with 2:37 left here in the second quarter. They've got plenty of time. That's about what you'd put on there if you were running a 2-minute drill. So Rucker back in the shotgun will take the snap. He's back to pass. He's got time to throw this time. He throws the ball down the field. It is caught across the 20 to the 25 and out of bounds at the 30. And boy, I had to wake him up, didn't I? This is the receiver Ryan Westervelt made the catch and got the first down. The basketball player from Lovejoy gets the first and 10 at the 30-yard line. And you know, Rucker and Westervelt are both juniors. I think this team could really shake them up next year. Here's Rucker handing off and straight ahead on a good solid running play and moving the pile all the way back to the 40. I think that'll be enough for the first down on that run.
That was Nadeau again.
Nice play by Nadeau, that sophomore athlete. And first and 10 for the Lovejoy Leopards at their own 40-yard line. There's now 2:12 as the clock, after they moved the chains, they started it again since the ball never went out of bounds. So R.W. Rucker back in the shotgun, waiting for the snap, and there it is, and he will fake to Nadeau, back to pass, and now will throw deep down the field, and it is incomplete down there, and no flags. Good coverage there by Bull Turner. That was Cordarian Bull Turner, and he was guarding the Lovejoy receiver, Leighton Archer, and nice play by the Bull to get that ball down on the ground without a completion, as Lovejoy went for a long one there. They were quite salty when the Wildcats played them in the by-district in 2017. They had a receiver supposedly going to Baylor. They had one that had a great career at Oklahoma State, and another one, I think, to Houston. Had three great receivers the last time we played them. Here's Rucker back to pass. Throws the ball down the field, caught first down in the secondary, all the way to the 40-yard line. And again, Westervelt with the catch. As I woke that guy up, didn't have a catch. They weren't even looking for him, and now they are big time. As he's coming to the fore. Coach Garretta was talking about that he's their go-to guy.
Puts him in Wildcat territory.
At the 40-yard line, first down and 10. R.W. Rucker will take the snap, and he fires the ball in out pattern, and it is caught, and player knocked out of bounds.
I think that's Westervelt again.
Westervelt again. That's an 8-yard gain on the play down to the 33-yard line, and it'll be second down and 2 for Lovejoy. And we have a timeout taken by the Wildcats. 1:28 left in the second quarter. Wildcats 7, Lovejoy 7. We'll take a break, back in a moment.
And we're back at Lovejoy Stadium with minute 28 left in the half. Lovejoy has the ball and working their way down the field with a second and 2.
And here come the Leopards, and 1:28 left here in the second quarter, and it is a second down and 2, the ball on the 33-yard line. And R.W. Rucker, trip receivers out to the left, single receiver on the right, will fake. And now Rucker keeps across the 30, the 25 to the 20. He's inside the 20 and finally gets knocked off his feet at the 17-yard line. That's a big, looks like 16-yard run by R.W. Rucker. And hold on, a flag down. Let's check the flag. A holding penalty on Lovejoy. That will negate that play completely. So forget everything that I just said.
That's a big benefit for the Wildcats because it was going to be a big first down for the Leopards, and now they're going to be backing it up another 10 yards.
So
5 yards. So it's going to be third.
Well, it's from the spot of the foul, so it results in about a move back from where the ball was snapped.
Gotcha.
But it was like 5 yards down the field. So now it is second down, and
it looks like 6.
Second down and 6 from the 37-yard line, and Rucker back to take the snap in the shotgun, getting a rush off the edge, but he moves up in the pocket. Now he scrambles across the 35. Oh, he slipped. He went into a slide, actually, and you're supposed to be able to avoid a tackle, and they're going to flag that. The Wildcat player did kind of hit him on the way down.
The flags are still flying.
There may have been some conversation there about that flag. That was kind of a late slide there. You can't totally blame a Wildcat player for hitting that player, but I think you are supposed to be protected. I just hope we don't get double flagged there, one for the penalty and then an additional foul for maybe something that was said or something.
And then
there's definitely a 1-2 punch on those flags.
Missed a huge hold against a Wildcat in the backfield as the quarterback was scrambling. That's not one of those flags.
Somebody could have made note of that little omission too. That's not the kind of thing the stripe guys, the zebras.
At least 2 flags on the field. The referees having quite the discussion out there.
I'll give Jimmy Rogers credit. This is a Serengeti moment out there, a gathering of the zebras. And if anybody said that before Jimmy, I never did hear it.
3. I see 3 flags on the field total. Here comes we don't have a...
We can see what they have to say, though.
See what they say.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Maybe this stadium just not equipped to handle the microphone for the official. Personal foul, Wildcats.
Yep. rejoicing from the Lovejoy crowd, but he's not finished.
And
Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike. So, back-to-back penalties. So that's, that is just such a tough penalty. That guy went into that late slide, but, you're really supposed to avoid that guy. But now we get the mark-off number 1, which will be followed by mark-off number 2. And with 1:18 left, this just changes everything.
Puts them all the way to the 11-yard line, so about 25 yards worth of penalties against the Wildcats there.
Yeah, one was half the distance. Looks like it's down around the 10. In fact, the chains have taken it off. So let's see, first down and goal right inside the 10-yard line for Lovejoy. Still 1:18 left here in the second quarter. Rucker back in the shotgun. Trip receivers to the left, one to the right. Boy, some really costly penalties. Here's Rucker, a fade pattern toward the end zone, and let's see, touchdown by Lovejoy and Westerveld. And now flags flying. I think we're going to get a little maybe evening here on a celebration penalty as Lovejoy scores on. The flag, I'm sure, was well after the penalty. It looked like because of the celebration. One player came over and chest bumped. He hit Westerveld so hard he knocked him to the ground. But the official ruled all that as celebrating, I'm sure. Again, we're playing official up here, and
looks like they're going to go for 2.
It's like being a doctor. You don't want to.
Nope,
you don't want to do that. They've got a guy out there to.
Okay, they've got a placeholder now, but we've got number 10's going to kick.
Well, that's interesting. R.W. Rucker.
So that's why I thought they were going for 2. They had the quarterback out there.
Don't give up yet. I mean, all that holder's got to do is pitch that ball to number 10, and I hope nothing's wrong with Loop. But here is the extra point, and they still could go for 2. Ball is down. Here's the kick by Rucker, and by George, he can kick too. He can wrestle. He can play baseball. He's a quarterback, and he kicks the extra point. The kick is good. 1:06 left here in the second quarter. New score here from Lucas. The Lovejoy Leopards 14 and the Wildcats 7.
Welcome back to Lovejoy Stadium, where the Leopards have just gone ahead 14-7 against the Wildcats. And now it looks like the Leopards are going to be backed up a little bit from that penalty.
I'd say a little bit.
Yeah.
15 yards. This is a kickoff from the 25-yard line. This may help the Wildcats. They've just got 1:06 left in the quarter, which is not, that's a little bit of time, and they could get a nice return here. Here is Trent Rucker, and his kick is sent down the field, and coming up the field at across the 30. This is Caden Davis. He's running across the field, across the 35. Across the 40, the 45, and then he's knocked off his feet, kind of goes sailing through the air, but the Wildcats have very, very good field position up around the 47, 48-yard line. Let's call it the 47.
Yep.
First down and 10 for the Wildcats with 58 seconds, 58 ticks left, so they've still got a what I would call the puncher's chance to get something done here.
Here comes the first Hooten's Hardware first down of this series.
And once again, Caden Wallace in the backfield. Trip receivers off to the right, one receiver to the left. And let's see how the Wildcats play it on first down here. And they'll start with a run by Chalk Sims, and it's being strung out, and he is knocked out of bounds for no gain as that Lovejoy defense strung that run out. Let's see. I'm going to make sure. Yeah, it's actually they're going to say a loss of 1 by Chalk. And so second down and 11. And the clock stopped going out of bounds at 52.5 seconds. So, boy, that one didn't do much for the cause. Wallace back in the pocket. He rushes out of there. He's scrambling now, throws the ball. If he could have just dumped that ball into Chalk Sims, but couldn't get it to him. An incomplete pass, and it'll be third down now and 11 from the 46-yard line.
Haney and Bryant were both fighting to get open on the other side of the field, but just way too far for Wallace to see him. So
yeah, he was kind of running for his life back there, and but he did have Sims open if he could have just feathered that ball in there, but on the run and with all that chaos and pressure, incomplete. 3rd down and 11 from the 46. Back to Wallace. Big rush. It's a screen. It's caught by Chalk Sims across the 45, and then he's going to cross the 50 and hit down at the 49-yard line. That'll be 6 yards short of the first down. And so, let's see, 4th down, we've got, the clock is still running, 24 seconds, so the Wildcats, why not just go for this here? And that's exactly what they look like they're going to do here, but they don't want to give Lovejoy a lot of time left. In fact, I don't know, they may not run another play. They may just let it go. It's at 10 seconds. So it looks like the Wildcats are just going to say 14-7 it is, and let's go in and talk about it at the half. Coach is already bailing out of the box next to us. And now, okay, there's a timeout with 1.3, so they faked me out. Coaches are going to have to come back. So we have 4th down and 7, and the ball is on the 49-yard line. Wildcats 7, but Lovejoy 14, and I don't know if we have time for a break. You want to try one, maybe?
Yeah, let's just try one break.
Let's take a break. Back in a moment.
And we're back to Lovejoy Stadium, where the Wildcats have just taken a timeout with 1.3 seconds left on the clock. They're coming back out. One more last play, 4th down and 6 to go, but it's 4th down and 49 because they have got to get it into the end zone with just this one play.
Yeah, Roger Staubach, I think he was the one perhaps that coined that first, the Hail Mary play. I'll give him credit for that. I'm not sure whether he did that or not, but that's about what we're going to see here. Now, Caden Wallace has a very strong arm. Of course, Lovejoy's got 3 guys, probably all play basketball back there inside the 20, that they'll be jumping up. And so let's see what happens here on this 4th down. And
they've changed the game clock to 0.3 seconds. Not that it matters, but
no, you just got to get it snapped. That was kind of tacky. He just took a second right off there.
Now they've discussed that. It looks like they're all lining up and actually going to snap the play here.
Yeah, all you have to do is snap it, and it's still going to get it underway here. But I don't know. That might cause you a little bit more alarm. But you know, this is going to be the last play of the quarter. We would pretty much think, unless there's penalties, all kinds of things can happen. So here's the play now. Back to Wallace. Wallace looking down the field, trying to scramble out of there. Flag flies. Wallace is down in the backfield, and that just did not work. And Lovejoy looked like they had about 10 guys back on about 3 Wildcats receivers. So I can imagine what Wallace was looking down the field at. And that flag down on the last play, but nothing happens. And so we are finally at the half here, and kind of a tough break on that second Leopard touchdown on a sliding play by the quarterback, kind of a last-minute slide, and a Wildcat player did make contact, and you've got to let that player, you've got to give up on him when he slides, and that was a flag on that, and then there was an additional unsportsmanlike conduct called on the Wildcats, and that set up the ball at the 10-yard line for an easy score for the Leopards. So we played half the football game here. It's Lovejoy 14 and the Wildcats 7. And Chad, words, or we just want to head into halftime?
Yeah, we're going to take a break here, and as the get ready for the Wildcat band. But let's take a break, and we'll be back in a moment.
Sulphur Springs High School proudly presents the 58th line of the Blue Blazers as they strike up the band. Sergeants for this year are seniors Sammy Allen and Monica Mejia, juniors Emma Edmonds, Maddie Hope, and Tatiana Wood. officers for this year are Lieutenant Lacey Swofford, Lieutenant Olivia Walker, First Lieutenant Allie Thurman, Co-Captain Maddie Thurman, Captain Allie Owens. The Blazers would like to recognize this week's Spirit Leader, Haven Walker. The Blazers would also like to recognize their Blaze of the Week, Shay Shay Moore. Tonight, the Blazers proudly perform their hoop routine to Sucker. Sulphur Springs High School Blue Blazers. The Blue Blazers are under the direction of Kristen McCullough and Kenny McGraw. Ladies and gentlemen, here they come. Man, oh man, that Wildcat Band. The band is being led onto the field by senior drum major Elizabeth Lopez and junior drum major Tristan Stewart. Tonight, the band is proud to continue its 2019 UIL competition season, performing a portion from this year's show, What a Wonderful New World, a story from the past with a vision for the future. The Wildcat Band would like to recognize this week's section of the week, the Tubas. And this week's band members of the week are Kirsten McDonald and Quincy Chisholm. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sulphur Springs High School Wildcat Band.
Placed beyond the open sea. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sulphur Springs High School Wildcat Band.
Aisha Emmer, Elizabeth Biolecki, Jeff Garza, Brittany Robinette, Elliot Ayo, Steve Proctor, and Anthony Parati. This week, the band would like to thank our fantastic administration for their continued support of our band program. This has been the voice of the Wildcat Band saying we'll see you on the road in Terrell next week as the band continues its 2019 tour.
And here come the Wildcats out on the field. They've got a little spring in their step. I'm sure they've had a nice discussion in the locker room with Coach Greg Owens, trying to get them pumped up for this second half and try to keep level-headed and stay focused on the job, the task at hand, I would say, and that is just to keep moving the ball. They really excited and came out with, I just love it, an onside kick they recovered when they first kicked off, and then they went down and scored, just almost a repeat of last week. And they came back out, and another onside kick, but lost that one. And so let's see.
3 out of 4, that ain't bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. And so we'll see what's going to. Of course, Lovejoy is going to be kicking off the start of the second half, and what the Wildcats receiving.
They might try an onside kick.
They may do it. So
Todd Ford figures, why not? That's only fair. And yeah, I would have a feeling this Wildcats team, I know they were tied last week, but I got some reports that some of the players were kind of wide-eyed at halftime, like trying to figure it all out.
Sure.
I bet they feel much better about themselves after they played a game and a half now. And so I'm just hoping that the Wildcats will play with a lot of poise as they get into this second half. And here's the kickoff coming down the field. And, why didn't he let that go out of bounds? He did tip the ball, so the Wildcats will get it back at the 15-yard line. That ball was heading to the sideline, and the player I'm sure, eager to run the ball back, put out the paw there, and the football went off that hand and went out of bounds. I think it was headed out of bounds. Yeah, First and 10 for the Wildcats at the 15.
Yeah, they're barely lining up there, and we almost didn't have a chance to say that was the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff that the Wildcats received, and now they're coming out for another Hooten's Hardware first down. Hooten's Hardware, more than nuts and bolts. They have all kinds of stuff down there in Emory, Texas.
So first down and 10 from the 15. Wallace back in the shotgun. Trip receivers out to the left. He's going to throw to the right. The ball is caught across the 15 to the 20, breaking into the secondary. Chalk Sims across the 30, but he just never could really get loose from the Lovejoy player that dragged him to the ground at the 34-yard line. But a good screen, and first down and 10 for the Wildcats. That tackle for Lovejoy, by the way, was by Brian Kotecki. And first and 10 for the Wildcats. And here's a run to Bryant Sanchez, trying to sweep it out to the left, trying to get around that corner. Had a tough time getting around the corner, and I think it's going to be thrown for a slight loss on the play.
Maybe a yard.
Maybe a couple of yards.
Yeah.
So it'll be second down and 12 from the 31-yard line for the Wildcats.
Just like our information reflected from the first half, they're just changing it up here.
And here come the Wildcats with one receiver to the left and two to the right. Two running backs back there with Caden Wallace. Snap back to Wallace, and it is a handoff, and here's a sweep by Caden Davis. Davis turning up. He's across the 50. He's trying to break away, but he's caught from behind and dragged down just as he was putting on the speed, but he will carry it all the way to the 34-yard line. First down and 10 for the Wildcats on a very, very nice run of probably 35 yards.
Well, it went from the 34 to the 34. I had to figure out my math on that. There's about a 33-yard gain on that one.
All right. So first and 10 for the Wildcats. That's the 34-yard line. And again, Wallace back in the shotgun, and this will be a run to Chalk Sims. And boy, Sims took the ball, and there were hungry leopards waiting on him, and they just wrapped him up right when he took the handoff, and he will lose. They will give him a forward procedure to the 38, so that's a loss of 4. So it'll be second down and 14 from the 38-yard line. Two receivers out to the left, two to the right for the Wildcats. And again, Wallace back in the shotgun. will take the snap. He throws the ball down the field and incomplete, in and out of the hands of Noe Ponce. He was double covered over there, so it'll be 3rd down and 14. Wildcats at the 38-yard line, and this seems like about the point on the field where bad stuff starts to happen.
Maybe the 3rd and long situation, and we haven't been tracking those, but we can tell that they haven't converted as many as they need.
Overcome this time. And Wallace back in the shotgun. 2 receivers out to the left, 2 to the right, running back to his right. And Wallace will take the snap. And he fires the ball down the field. Caught by Ponce across the 25. Ponce to the inside the 20. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats as they convert that 3rd and long play. And they'll have 1st and 10 at the 17 in Lovejoy territory. Wildcats trying to tie it up here as 9:51 left here in the 3rd quarter. And Lovejoy leads 14-7.
Another Hooten's Hardware first down.
And hoot and holler when we say that. That worked so good in the first half.
I loved it. Yes.
Break it out again. Wallace takes the snap. Here's a handoff. And once again, Lovejoy said this door is closed. There's nowhere to run. And so it'll be a loss on the play back to the 20-yard line. That's a loss of about 3. So it'll be 2nd down and 13.
Yeah, they read that play pretty well.
Ponce and Meskimen out to the right, and single receiver over on that left side.
7.
Oh, that's 7 over there. That's Wiley Bennett. Here's a handoff to Davis. Davis across the 20 to the 15. Good job of running by Davis, and then he's escorted out of bounds at the 15. It'll be about 7 or 8 yards needed. Let's call it 8 needed for the first down at the 15-yard line. And there's a conversation. I did not see a flag, but there is one. I see it now. Either that or somebody's towel.
It looks like a towel in the middle of the field, but there's still
another yellow tint to it.
Another discussion, and now he's waving a flag and waving it off.
Waving it off, so no foul. And so the Wildcats are down to the 15, and they need roughly 7 yards. A long 7, let's say, or 8.
Round up.
Let's get down to the 7, guys. Let's don't leave any doubt. As trip receivers over to the left and a lonely Noe Ponce here to the right. Back to Wallace. He's looking to the left. Here's a pass. The ball is caught. And then looked like he had a hard time hanging on. I think they're going to rule that as an incomplete pass from the get-go. No, they're saying the ball was caught. And so it's caught down to the 12-yard line. And I didn't. Did you get the receiver?
Yeah, that was 47.
Okay, that was Kylan Wade. And so now we're going to have a field goal attempt from the 19-yard line. This will be a 29-yard field goal for Brandon Zavala. He had one last week. It's right in the middle of the field. And the ball is down. Here's the kick on the way by Zavala, and the kick is good for the Wildcats. Nice 29-yard field goal by Brandon Zavala. 8:40 left in the 3rd quarter. New score here from Leopard Stadium in Lucas. It's the Lovejoy Leopards 14 and the Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 10. Let's take a break. Back in a moment. And the Jay Hodge kickoff coming here, and the Wildcats have their dual kickers there to kind of create some fog here as to who's going to kick, and the kick will be made by Lopez. Short kick, and here's a return across the 30, across the 35, and then on out to about the 40-yard line where the returner for Lovejoy is escorted out of bounds at the 40. 1st and 10 for Lovejoy at their own 40. Is that the double deuce?
I didn't see who that was on the return. Looks like it could be 22. That was O.C. Lopez where on the kickoff.
Yeah,
that little pooch kick. They both line up there to kick off, and O.C. sneaks in there and pops the ball. Did a great job.
Looks like Rendell McCartney was the kick returner. 1st down and 10 now from the 40-yard line for the Leopards. R.W. Rucker back in the shotgun will take the snap. It's a running play to to Nadeau, and he is a hard-charging runner. I can see why they like him back there. It looked like he picked up about 8 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 2 for the Leopards at their own 48-yard line.
Lined up and ready to go again.
The 50-yard line. Rucker back in the shotgun. Will take the snap. And he's looking down the field now, scrambles out of the pocket and fires the ball down the field. Oh, what a dart. 1st down on the catch.
Number 5.
And, yeah, that's a new receiver. I have not seen that number before. Bo Allen, the wide receiver. 1st and 10 for Lovejoy at the Wildcats' 40-yard line. Trip receivers to the left, one to the right for R.W. Rucker. Boy, I was impressed with that dart he threw that time. That looked like a good pass. Rucker from the shotgun. Again, kind of staring at the sideline. And now gets the snap. And he looks down the field, throws an out. The ball is caught. Oh, this will end up in the end zone. Touchdown for Lovejoy. And that was, that was Westervelt. He broke a tackle out there, and the poor defender one-on-one out there. And did not secure the tackle, and a 40-yard touchdown pass for Lovejoy. So Wildcats pick up 3 and then give up 6 on the 40-yard touchdown pass. Again, Rucker to Westervelt.
And their quarterback is back to kick the extra point again.
Something must have happened to Tyler Loop. We have not seen him, so once again, R.W. Rucker doing the extra point. Got one already. This kick is on the way, and he's got another one. Looks like I bet he's kicked sometime before. The players are kind of hanging around, though. There is a flag down. I think it might be offside, so the point will count. So a new score here from Lucas Leopard Stadium. It's Lovejoy 21 and the Wildcats 10. There's 7:26 left here in the 3rd quarter. Let's take a break. Back in a moment.
And here comes the kickoff from Lovejoy.
And Rucker, the kicking Rucker, sends the ball all the way to a touch back in the end zone, so the Wildcats will have 1st down and 10 to go from their own 25-yard line.
Right over the head of Davis there into the end zone. Pretty good kick.
7:26 again left here in the 3rd quarter, and Lovejoy leading 21-10. So the Wildcats have to kind of match these guys now. Going to stay in this ball game. They got to start matching score for score. And here comes Caden Wallace, 2 receivers out left and right, and he has a running back in the backfield. I believe that's Chalk Sims back there. And Wallace from the shotgun takes the snap, and he will hand off Sims across the 25. Sims hitting across the 30 up to the 31-yard. Well, they're going to mark it right around the 30, so it'll be a gain of 5, 2nd down and 5 for the Wildcats right at their own 30-yard line.
That was a Hooten's Hardware 1st down run, of course, for Chalk Sims for 5 yards. Didn't think I could get that one worked in, did you, Don?
No, I didn't. Caden Davis is now in at running back, but Wallace is rolling back, and he throws a pass. It is caught. Broken tackle across the 35 down to the 39-yard line. That was Caden Davis, who just came in, and he went out of the backfield, went down the field, caught the ball, and made a 1st down at the 38 in Wildcats territory. That's
13-yard gain on that run.
Hardware 1st down. Here's Wallace, pass out. It is caught across the 40. This is Sanchez, and he's across the 45-yard line, and they're going to mark him right at the 45. That's 3 yards short of the 1st down, so it'll be 2nd down and 3 for the Wildcats at their own 45-yard line.
Sanchez doing a good job of getting open.
Yeah, no, Wallace, a good job of putting that ball right in there, too. So the Wildcats second and short. And I know Matt Young calling the plays next door really likes that second and short. Wallace back there in the shotgun takes a snap. Handoff. Davis across the 45. Has a first down across the 50. He's cutting all the way across to this side of the field, across the 40, the 35. Davis knocked off his feet right down around the 30-yard line. Beautiful run there by Caden Davis. And first down and 10 for the Wildcats at the Lovejoy 30-yard line.
About a 27-yard run on that carry, but it was pass.
You know, it was a scrimmage game against LE last year before last season, and everybody was saying, Caden who? Who was that guy that just rushed for a long touchdown?
Another Hooten's Hardware first down.
Boy, it made us excited, I'm telling you. And here's another handoff, and this is Chalk Sims, and Sims down around the 25-yard line. And, boy, the Wildcats just clicking them off, running plays for 5 just about every time. Second down and 5 now from the 25-yard line as the Wildcats look pumped out there. Nice drive. Wallace back in the shotgun. 2 receivers left and right. Wallace will take the snap. It was a low snap. Now he throws the ball down the field, and
it hit the ground.
Yes,
hit the ground.
And it came out too. Kind of gave the official a better look. Looked like it was Haney, Chase Haney, trying to get the catch there, and so it'll be back to third down and 5 now from the 25-yard line. And Haney comes over here to the right side with Noe Ponce. A couple of receivers also on the left side for the Wildcats.
Lacey.
Wallace takes a snap, and here's a handoff running to the right across the 20. First down for the Wildcats all the way down to the 16-yard line. I think that got a fist pump out of Matt Young next door as he liked that running play for the first down.
That was Chuck Sims, but he's staying on the ground.
Yes, he's down on the ground, and they're going to attend to him and check on him. Have an injury player timeout. Let's see. It usually gets them off the ground, but we do have an injury player timeout here. 4:54 left in the third quarter. Lovejoy 21, the Wildcats 10. And let's take a break. Back in a moment. And it's going to be first down and 10 for the Wildcats now at the 16-yard line. By the way, Chalk Sims, almost at the point I called for the break, jumped up and right off the ground and headed over to the sideline. So Chalk is just fine. And first down and 10 for the Wildcats at the 16-yard line. Davis in there right now. And the snap back to Wallace. A running play to Davis. Davis finds the going tough this time. And looks like he might have lost 1 yard on the play. It'll be second down and 11 from the 17-yard line. Lovejoy with that monstrous defensive line. Of course, that's Beidelman. He is on both of those lines, and he is a large man. Has that German name, and one of the guys in the press box said, and he's got that big German body too. And the Wildcats now second down and 11 from the 17-yard line. Wallace back in the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. He'll throw out to the left. The ball is caught across the 15, the ball across the 10, and it's heading to the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats!
Number 8.
And that caught out there by Dietrich Clayton for a touchdown for the Wildcats.
And Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go, Wildcats. And on that score, a 23-yard pass and reception into the end zone. Here comes the extra point attempt.
Matt Young was trying to tell me something. He was pointing at his head. So I'm not sure. Maybe it was a brainy call there.
Yes, I think it was. I think it was a very good call.
But anyway, I'll have to ask him about that later. Touchdown Wildcats. It's 21-16, and the Wildcats now for the extra point. The ball is down on the extra point. The kick is on the way. And his kick is good, as that was Brandon Zavala with the extra point. 3:55 left here in the third quarter, and really anybody's ball game now. Matt Young is pumped, I'm telling you, next door. It's Lovejoy 21 and the Wildcats 17. We'll take a break. Back in a moment.
We're back at Lovejoy Stadium where the Wildcats have just scored. The score is now 17 Wildcats, 21 for the Leopards. The Wildcats are about to kick off the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff, and it's the home of the $100 discount per touchdown, which the Wildcats now have 2. So we'll tell you about that more about that in a minute. But here comes the kickoff. It's anybody's guess
who's going to kick it, and it will be Zavala this time, and he thunders it down the field. It bounces inside the 15, now across the 20 on the return, and down the sideline, and finally the Wildcats, Wiley Bennett knocked the player out of bounds, and a flag flies right at the end of that play. Chad, did you see something down there?
I did not, but I saw the flag come in from further on down the field, and we're going to get the call here from the...
My guess is a block, an illegal block on the return team, but and I'm not just saying that because that's, a Sulphur Springs call. It just the placement of the flag and everything.
Yeah. The official was chasing all the players to try.
I thought Bennett was a clean tackle, got him out of bounds,
yeah, but they're moving the ball back a little bit.
Well, they're marking the spot of the foul. It's against Lovejoy.
Good for the Wildcats.
And then he pointed toward the Wildcats.
He was just saying 1st and 10.
And there goes the mark off, and they will move the ball inside the 30. Boy, this is a huge 15-yard penalty. That must have been a whale of an illegal block. It goes back to the 22-yard line, and Lovejoy will have 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line. Good job by Bennett to get that runner out of bounds so he didn't gain a whole lot of yards. And R.W. Rucker is back in the shotgun for the Leopards. Wildcats trailing by only 4. Here's a pass. It's caught out in the flat. The receiver straight up the field, knocked off his feet. Pretty good gain on the play. It's going to be up to the 28. That's a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Leopards.
Number 5 on the reception there.
There's that Bo fella again. Bo Allen, named after the school, I'm sure, a mile or two away. Here's a handoff to Nadeau. Oh, the Wildcats, boy, did they jam that play up. Real good defense there. They're trying to get Carrillo was one of those players in there on that play. I think he had some help, but nice play by Carrillo.
Maybe lost a yard.
And so it's going to be 3rd down now for Lovejoy, and they're going to need about 6. Rucker back in the shotgun. Boy, he's been good on some 3rd downs. He's looking down the field, fires a pass. It is incomplete, almost intercepted as he coughed it up, and almost coughed it right into the hands of Carrillo.
Yeah, so it's just
an incomplete pass.
Fingertip away from interception on that. Carrillo had his hands on it, but it touched the ground just before he could gain control of it.
And when he first threw it, I thought the Wildcats had a legitimate shot at a pick before the player ever touched it, the way it was thrown and everything.
He threw it into some hostile territory there, certainly.
All right, here's a punt now for Lovejoy, as he'll be punting from their own 27-yard line.
This is number 24.
Trent Rucker. And here's his kick out of there. It's down toward Chase Haney. Takes the big hop. Chase will field it, and then the Lovejoy player will hit him right away. On a play like that, Chase does a great job not to fumble the ball. When you field the ball and just get hit instantly like that, but no gain, but at least kind of some swagger there by Chase Haney to say, hey, I'm gonna try this. So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Pretty good field position.
Another Hooten's Hardware 1st down. Hooten's Hardware, more than nuts and bolts.
So 1st down and 10 for the Wildcats at their own 34-yard line. Trip receivers out to the right for Caden Wallace. One receiver to the left. The running back with him on this 1st down play. And it will be a run to the right. And this is Chalk Sims trying to get around the corner across the 35. Then he heads north and south, and I always love those north-south runners. Don't give me a Shrine Game runner, one of these east and west runners. Like that north and south, and he moved it up to the 40, and it's a gain of 6.
As the
Wildcat Chalk would get 6 out of that.
Yeah.
2nd down and 4 from let's call it 2nd and 5 from the 39.
A great effort, and as they're moving left to right on your radio dial, the Wildcats are trying to move left to right also.
North and south. North and south, buddy. I'm directionally challenged, but I know on a football field what north and south is.
Sanchez back in.
Here's
game.
a handoff. Oh, it's a reverse around to Sanchez. As Chad mentions him across the 50, a flag flies, and Sanchez will move all the way down to the 30-yard line, but hold everything, a holding penalty. Oh, my.
So
That is the stinkeroo call of the night. We were having such fun with that play, but you can't do that. Again,
about a 30-yard run that's going to be negated and marked off of against the Wildcats.
It's going to end up at the 37-yard line, so the net result is going to be second down, and looks to be about 7 for the Wildcats at their own 37.
So a loss of only 2 yards on the play, but certainly a huge run.
Yeah, a big play wiped out. Wildcats only trail 21-17 here, and they'll try a run, and this is Davis. And Davis had a hard time getting away from the Lovejoy tackler that time, and it's going to be dropped right about the line of scrimmage. Let's just say no gain, and so it'll be 3rd down and 7 from the 38-yard line. Actually, it's going to be 3rd and 6 from the 38. And here come the Wildcats, 2 receivers left and right. Big 3rd down play as the Wildcats want to continue to move here, and they've had some big 3rd down plays. Wallace looking down the field, looking and looking. Now he throws incomplete. Tried to get it into Landry Meskimen, and Landry couldn't. He was coming back for the ball, but Wallace was being harassed, and it just came up a little bit short.
Yeah, the
Wildcats will have to punt the ball.
Leopards were covering him pretty good, and just couldn't get back to the ball. So another mistake wipes out a huge gain, and the Wildcats are going to have to punt.
And that means Noe punts, and punts back in punt formation. I'm sure Coach Owens has a fake or something that one of these days they'll dust that off. Here's the ball back to Ponce, and he will kick this one. Oh, it's a line drive, a low traveling football, but it's very effective, and it's going to be inside the 20. You get big time points. So when the ball dies on the 18-yard line, what a nice punt by Noe Ponce.
About a 44-yard punt, and
wow.
Of course no return. So good field position. As far as the Wildcats are concerned against the Leopards, the Wildcats scoring 17, and the Leopards have 21, so a little bit closer game as the Leopards come back out.
Yeah, that's one of those, if you don't clip one of your linemen right in the derriere, but he did get it up a little bit higher than that. We had one of the punts in a scrimmage where they, it's kind of half effort, and boy, it was one of those ones. It was really low. Now here's Rucker back in the shotgun. He steps up in the pocket and sails it way down the field. Wildcats had good coverage. Actually, their coverage by Chase Haney was he had a better shot at the ball than the receiver. I'm sure that was Westerfeld.
Chase Haney got a good hand on that and could have pulled it in for an interception, but certainly broke up the play and against their top receiver. So
beautiful defense by Chase.
Great play by Chase Haney.
He made it so that all that could happen there was either incomplete or an interception.
Absolutely.
And the Westerfield was just out of the whole play because of great positioning there by Haney from his safety position. 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats now at the 18-yard line, or for the Leopards at their own 18, and Rucker back to pass. He's getting a big rush, and he got out of the tackle. Watch out for this. He moves forward, and the Wildcats did a pretty good job of containing him. Boy, when you make the big rush and you don't get the sack, watch out. But that time they held him to a 4-yard gain, so it's 3rd and 6 at the 22. But boy, they had a huge rush, about 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah, he shook off 3 of the Wildcats in the backfield and did a great job of
Rucker back in the shotgun. Will take the snap. He's looking down the field, and now once again, and Carrillo's got him. He throws the ball as he's going down, and that's going to be a grounding flag, and Matt Young is clapping.
Yeah.
That was a weird, it almost looked like some kind of hammer throw or something that you would see on the track in track season.
Definitely on the ground and shuttle pass.
Oh, they're going to wave it off.
Waved it off. And
now Matt's probably not clapping.
Incomplete. He
gave a gesture.
Certainly don't agree with that.
Yeah, he gave a gesture. It was not obscene. It was just kind of like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yes, that was.
Because when you think you've got something and then you don't, that's feel like it's been taken away from you. But the guys, the officials talked to each other and probably said, there were players out there. So in the general vicinity, I'm just saying that might have happened. Here's Trent Rucker now punting for Lovejoy. The Wildcats are going to get the ball back as the third quarter is just about over, but they'll should receive it after the punt. Here's the kick out of there, and it's going into the sideline. So let's see where they finally mark this, as the official has gotten to midfield and about maybe right there. The Wildcats will have 3.6, all that's left here in the third quarter, but they have the ball just about a yard across the midfield line. So the officials will not have far to go to mark the football, about 2 yards if it were to be marked right now. Hopefully the Wildcats will add quite a bit of distance. But here's first down and 10 for the Wildcats. They're at the Lovejoy 49-yard line. It's Lovejoy 21, the Wildcats 17, just about at the end of the third quarter.
A great field position for another Hootens Hardware first down.
And the Wildcats receiver out to the left, 2 to the right. 2 running backs back there with Caden Wallace. And Wallace from the shotgun will take the snap, fakes to the running back. Stepping up into the pocket, sails it downfield, wide open receiver. What a beautiful catch by Bryson Lacey down at the 12-yard line for the Wildcats. Oh my, did he go up and get that ball. Beautiful catch by Lacey. And what a way to end the third quarter. That is the end of the third quarter. Guys, get those 4 fingers up, will you? As we've played 3, got the big fourth quarter to go. Look at those hands go up in the air of the Wildcats. And we've played 3. It's Lovejoy 21 and the Wildcats 17. Wildcats threatening to move ahead. Let's take a break here and come back with an extremely thrilling fourth quarter for you right after this break.
Back at Leopard Stadium, where the Wildcats just had a huge reception from Lacey to get it down on the 13-yard line, and Wildcats are coming back out.
And first down and 10 for the Wildcats. Let's at the 13-yard line. And 2 receivers out to the right side, 1 to the left, 2 running backs around Wallace back in the shotgun. Wildcats threatening to take the lead, and they'll start with a run to Davis right up the middle of Main Street, and touchdown Wildcats. And what do you say, Chad?
Fantastic. Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats. Davis took it right up the middle and was barely even touched, and tripped right at the goal line, but made it in with no trouble. So the 23-21, and the Wildcats come out for the extra point attempt.
Brandon Zavala out there with Campbell Cody doing the holding. Campbell does a good job back there. What a low snap and got that ball down. Kick by Zavala, and the kick is good. Way to go, Commander Cody. And it's 11:56 left in the fourth quarter. New score here from Lucas, home of Leopard Stadium. It's the Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 24 and Lovejoy 21. And let's take a break, and we'll be back in a moment.
And we're back at Lovejoy Stadium, where the Wildcats just pulled ahead of the Leopards 24-21. And as we get ready for the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff, we want to tell you about the $100 touchdown discount. For every touchdown that the Wildcats make tonight, which is 3 so far, you get $100 off of any new or used vehicle at J. Hodge Chevrolet tomorrow, Saturday. And so hopefully the Wildcats can, maybe another onside kick coming, Don, you never know. But both both the kickers out there lining up, 13 and 14. So it's anybody's guess of how it's going to go.
Don't you know they're enjoying that? Kind of talking to each other. Your turn, my turn. What did he say?
Yeah.
These guys are in opposition. What are you going to do? Who do you prepare for? And the approach, and Zavala will kick this one. It is an onside kick. The ball is down on the ground. There's a big scramble for it right at the 50-yard line. The Wildcats say, we've got it. And they ain't got it. Lovejoy came up with it.
The officials say differently.
Yes. All of coach's hands over there were pointing in one direction, and then the guy in the stripes comes up and says, no, this way. So first down and 10 for Lovejoy. And, boy, the bad thing about the onside kick that doesn't work, Lovejoy starts from their own. Well, it's not their own. Actually, it's a neutral 50-yard line. My goodness, half the field already eaten up. So here's Lovejoy now from the 50. They trail 24-21. Rucker back in the shotgun, and Rucker will take the snap, and it will be a handoff to Nadeau, and he's going to break into the secondary. He's across the 40, the 35 to the 30, the 25, and he runs out of bounds at the 20-yard line. A 30-yard run for Nadeau. And so first and 10 for the Leopards at the 20-yard line. And Rucker's got two receivers left and right. We'll take the snap. He's going to hand off Nadeau again, busting a big hole in there and all the way down to the 12-yard line. And so second down and 2 for Lovejoy.
Nadeau's coming out of the game.
And Austin King, who scored the first touchdown for the Leopards. That middle linebacker / running back is in there. And now they'll hand off. The quarterback will keep around the right side. This is Rucker. And Rucker is tackled inside the 5.
The flag on the other side of the field.
Oh, my. Okay. Yeah, I see. You had to look all the way to the middle of the field to find that. But first down, we think, but hold everything. As once again a Serengeti moment is broken out as the zebras get together.
Looked like
we mean that no disrespect.
Way on the other side of the field, looked like there was a tussle going on between the Wildcat and the Leopard.
That sounds like boys will be boys, but let's see what they say. The white hat will let us know here.
Here comes the call. I think there's two unsportsmanlike against the Leopards.
And unsportsmanlike. And it was boys would be boys. The old Emily Latella from Saturday Night Live from a million years ago. Never mind.
Never.
It was against both teams. And so the play stands up. First down and goal now for Lovejoy from the 4-yard line. And Rucker back in the shotgun. The Wildcats going to have to tighten things down here as Lovejoy trying to surge back into the lead. A low snap, but a handoff, and the play run into the end zone, touchdown. And again, it was that Austin King kind of their power runner, and he's had a couple of in-close touchdown runs. And Lovejoy right back out to a 27-24 lead with extra point pending. And once again, R.W. Rucker has been called on to kick. I have no idea what happened to Tyler Loop tonight. We have not. He kicked the first extra point. Ball is down. Here's Rucker's kick, and he puts it right through there. And 11-10 left here in the fourth and final quarter. New score now from Lucas Leopard Stadium. It's Lovejoy 28 and the Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 24. Again, 11-10 left here in the fourth quarter. Let's take a break. Back in a moment. Here's the kickoff. It's picked up right at the goal line. Everybody kind of gave up, and then here's Chalk Sims coming out with it, and Chalk will rumble all the way out past the 30. It looked like it was just going to be a touchback. The Wildcats were just going to kind of let it go back there, and Sims realized that ball's not going to go in the end zone, so he picked it up like on about the 1, and everybody had kind of stopped playing, and Sims roared out to the 33-yard line. Pretty good
they
kickoff
kind
return.
of stopped. They didn't think that he was going to field it, and he just came right back out. Here comes the Hootens Hardware first down.
And now we've got receivers in tandem left and right, two on each side, with a running back next to Wallace. So on 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line, hand off the running back, and he is going to be thrown for a loss. That was Davis, and Davis will be tackled at, they're going to mark it at the 31-yard line, so a loss of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 11 from the 32-yard line. Well, the Wildcats have opened up some big holes and had some good running plays, and then Lovejoy has just shut some stuff down too. So it's kind of been a real battle going on in the trenches tonight. Wallace from the shotgun takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, throws the ball down the field. It's caught by Chase Haney. Oh, no, it's incomplete. Oh, my, and I'm not surprised. Somebody unloaded on him.
He took quite a hit there, had the ball, but hadn't maintained control of it, took that big hit, dropped the ball, and incomplete.
And you even wonder, even in college, about targeting and stuff. That was pretty darn close, but an incomplete pass, 3rd down and 11, and they really unloaded on Chase, and that would have taken a Herculean effort to hold on to that. Here's 3rd and 11, Wallace. He will throw a long fade down the right sideline, and boy, they were not on the same page there. Lacey running the pattern looked like kind of short, and the ball was a bomb.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Lacey ever saw that ball get into the air, because he would have taken off after it. And now that puts the Wildcats in a 4th down position, going to have to punt. They were so far back in their own territory.
Yeah, that was really a rotten series, to be just brutally honest.
Yeah, miscommunication on that last one. Haney's
4th and 11,
play.
and punting will be Noe Ponce, a Lovejoy player, and another Lovejoy player very late on the field.
And a Wildcat player late coming in.
Oh, my goodness, it looks like a second ball game between two teams that played spring ball and didn't have much practice or scrimmage. We do have a timeout to kind of restore some order here. 10:13 left in the 4th quarter. It's Lucas Lovejoy 28 and the Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 24. 10:13 left here in the 4th quarter. We'll take a break, back in a moment. Wildcats got penalized 5 yards for all that chaos on getting onto the field, so they now will be 4th and even longer, about 16 or 17, as Noe Ponce is back to punt, gets kind of a high snap and puts the foot into it. It's a high, short effort, and it's going to hit and take a really good roll. This field loves to give you a good roll here, inside the 30 and rolling all the way to the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Lovejoy at their own 25. They lead 28-24. We've got 10 minutes left here to see for this ball game to be decided.
Great roll and great punt by Ponce. He was backed up all the way and punted it from the 12-yard line, and now the Leopards will start from their own 25-yard line, so they're backed up pretty well. They just have to watch out for those receivers.
Yeah, you got to watch everybody on this team. That's always been that way, seemed like, with Lovejoy. They have spread it from sideline to sideline. Trip receivers out to the right, a single receiver to the left for R.W. Rucker. He'll probably run it right up the middle. Yes, he will. Well, he's around the right end and moves up the field. Almost broke another tackle. Good secure tackle there. I believe that was by Dietrich Clayton. And he won't turn around, so I can see.
I think that was Haney that got the tackle.
That is Haney.
Yeah.
And Haney's the one that
Haney's a big part of this game on both sides.
It's 1st down and 10 from the 35-yard line. Here's a handoff again. Nadeau straight ahead. He'll pick up the 1st down. He'll go for 11. And it's 1st down and 10 for Lovejoy at their own 46-yard line.
Haney again on that tackle.
And so Rucker back in the shotgun and handoff Nadeau again, and he is really rumbling. And he moves to the 46-yard line. That's just 2 yards short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and 2 for second down and 2 for the Leopards at the Wildcats 46-yard line. Now Lovejoy with receivers in tandem right and left, but they'll go right back to the running play as they're spreading out the Wildcats and then running right up through the tackles, and the Dew will run for the first down, and boy, they are just getting huge yardage now. First down and 10 at the Wildcat 32-yard line. Wildcats down by 4 and trying to stem the tide, but having a hard time against Lovejoy. And now a timeout. The Wildcats want to talk it over. 8:56 left here in the fourth quarter. It's Lovejoy 28, the Wildcats 24, and we'll take a break and be back in a moment.
And we're back at Leopard Stadium. The Leopards marching their way down the field. The Wildcats have got to put up a good defense as they come to the line of scrimmage.
It's first and 10 at the Wildcats 32-yard line for the Leopards. And again, R.W. Rucker has gone all the way for quarterback, or at quarterback for the Leopards. 2 receivers left and right. And he will just go to that handoff, and that's been very effective. This is a new running back in there.
19.
It's one that we expected to be the starter tonight, and that is Taylor Collier, and I believe that's his first carry. It's going to be good for 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Leopards at the 27-yard line. And they'll hand off Collier again, and he moves it up to about the 25-yard line. That's going to be 3 yards short. There was some some rooster fighting going on at the end of that play, and the Wildcats look like they've got a player that's down out there.
99.
And so let's get that player checked out, and we have an injury player timeout. 8:25 left here in the fourth quarter, and Lovejoy leading the Wildcats 28-24. We'll timeout for the injury. Back in a moment. And DeAndre Peoples able to get up, and he walked off the field without any help whatsoever. So he recuperated rapidly there, and I'm sure we'll see more of him. As it's a 3rd down and 3 coming up with the ball at the 25-yard line in Wildcats territory. This may well be a 4-down territory. And here come the Leopards. 2 receivers left and right, and R.W. Rucker back in the shotgun for Lovejoy. And the ball is snapped and then flags. It's almost like the snap was like a button that caused flags to come flying out of officials' pockets.
2 flags on the field there on either side of the line of scrimmage, so it'll be interesting to see what this is going to be.
Yeah, you got your head official there, and one kind of right in the middle there.
They backed it up against the Leopards, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a 5-yard penalty, and it'll now be 3rd down and 8 from the 30-yard line. So a little bit tougher play now for the Leopards as Rucker looking into that sideline. He may be looking over at that number 9 saying, "You ready for this, Westervelt?" There's a snap, but they're going to, no, it's a fake and a keep by Rucker. He's straight forward, and he is going to get it's going to be close to the first down. Right about the mark needed was where he was brought down. They'll eyeball it over there and see what they think. Well, they're going to, the guy marking the ball says it's 4th and about half a yard. So 4th and very short here, and Lovejoy's going to go for it at the 23-yard line. It would be great if the Wildcats could rise up here with a real big play. And Rucker back in the shotgun. He'll take the snap. Handoff. The ball is down on the ground. And the Wildcats, he reaches forward. I think the Wildcats have stopped him there. As, boy, that's what you want. A bad snap, or the ball. Actually, the quarterback and the halfback trying to get together. And the ball ends up on the ground, and the Wildcats hold. How huge is that? I'm going to put a big OD, and that means over on downs.
That's a yes. And either way, it's going to become a Hooten's Hardware first down for the Wildcats on their own 24-yard line.
And here come the Wildcats. Got Noe Ponce out there along with Landry Meskimen here on the left side. Single receiver out to the right, and those 2 running backs for the Wildcats. They're 77 yards away from taking the lead here, and they'll start with Caden Davis sweeping around the right, and he's going to be trapped and thrown for a loss. That'll be a 3-yard loss back to the 20-yard line. It'll be second down and 13 yards needed now from the 20. Actually, let's just say a 2-yard loss back to the 21. So now second and 12 from the 21-yard line. That play did not work. Again, Wallace back in the shotgun. Will take the snap. Fakes to the running back. He's getting a rush from the corner. Wallace will throw the ball down the field. Into a crowd. Incomplete. Overthrew the receiver. And now the Wildcats receiver is down, and a flag came into that mess. So anyway, injured player timeout here as the Wildcats attend to the player that was trying to catch that football. And we'll take a break here, and we'll be back in a moment.
Back at Leopard Stadium, the receiver that was tripped up on that play is being attended to on the other sideline there and about to walk off the field.
That's Landry Mescom in there, and he's heading to the sideline. And I don't know if a retape. I'm not sure. Anyway, they will be checking him out. And so incomplete. Well, it's a first down and 10 for the Wildcats at the 38-yard line. Back to Wallace. He fires a pass. It is incomplete. I think this is a live lateral, and it's picked up by Caden Davis. It was a live ball, and he ran it up to the 41-yard line. A very alert Davis, not giving up on that, and gained 3 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 7 from the 41-yard line. A very alert play by Davis as Wallace threw a backward pass. So that's a lateral. It is a live ball.
During that injury timeout, it must have been a penalty against the Leopards, too, that put us up at first and 10.
Remember I said that a flag got thrown in all that mess, and
right.
It was against Lovejoy. I did not do a good job of describing that. Here's a draw play, and Chalk Sims unable to escape from the Lovejoy rush. And so that will be a loss on the play of at least 1, I think.
We're going to move it back almost to the original line of scrimmage. So
back at the 37. So it's a 1-yard loss, second down and 11. Boy, where that guy's marking the football and where the football looks like 2 different places to me.
Exactly.
That does not look. One of us needs to have our
third and long for the Wildcats.
Third and 11 is what I've got. And Wallace back in the shotgun. And went from first to third, didn't it? Now, Wallace dropped the ball as he was running. And now they're still fighting for it down there at the 32-yard line. This could be huge. Lovejoy says, we have it. And yes, they do have it. The official agrees. So, oh my, boy, how your luck can change. And that happened right there on the turnover. A huge turnover, 5:28 left here in the fourth quarter. And the fumble recovered by Lovejoy. So now that negates that great over on downs defensive play. And Lovejoy on the Wildcats' 32-yard line.
About the same field position they gave up earlier.
And Lovejoy leads 28-24. And again, 5:28 left here in the fourth quarter. Back to Rucker. He fakes and now will keep right up the middle. Rucker running across the 20 to the 15. He will score. Touchdown by Rucker. My, how your luck can change. Wait a minute. Is there a flag down? There's something down there, but I think
maybe a towel.
Yes, that is a red Lovejoy flag. So that one of the players lost, and so it is a touchdown run of 32-yard line, and boy, how a football game, how Mo can change the uniform in just a couple of plays.
Now the extra point attempt coming by Rucker.
R.W. Rucker, he's been kicking them all except the first one. He's been successful on all. The ball's down, the kick on the way. Got kind of a short, choppy kick, but he missed that one. Well, we bragged on him enough, Chad, and he missed the extra point. So we'll see if that turns out, still a 10-point lead. Any way you slice it and dice it. So 5:20 left here in the fourth quarter. It's Lovejoy 34 and the Wildcats 24. And let's take a break. Back in a moment.
Back at Leopard Stadium, the score 34 for the Leopards, 24 for the Wildcats. Wildcats back to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff.
And Trent Rucker approaches on a short kick, a fair catch called for and made by, again, Wiley Bennett at about the 31-yard line. And so the Wildcats, they're going to mark it at the 30. So the Wildcats really have get that red flag off. Would you get that off the turf? That thing has been sitting there and was not a penalty flag, so we need to just get that thing off the turf, referees. So anyway, I was going to say the Wildcats really need to get busy now. They're down 10 points with 5:20 left, so they need a fantastic finish here.
Two scores any way you look at it, and they need to really get down the field.
3 receivers out to the right, 2 to the left.
Hooten's Hardware first down.
And here's Wallace back to pass. He's looking down the field. He will throw a pass to a back. It's caught across the 40, across the 45. A good first play there, and I think that was Caden Davis.
Absolutely.
It was Davis, and he's up to the 48-yard line. I like that little play. Davis was in the backfield, and he just kind of, instead of the flat, he ran down the field a little bit, and Wallace, showing nice touch, just feathered the ball right in there. First down and 10 for the Wildcats at their own 48. They need more plays like that. Back to Wallace. He looks down the field, fires an out pattern. The ball is caught. The receiver is caught, Haney on the catch, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 49-yard line. That's a gain of about 4. It'll be second down and 6 for the Wildcats at the Lovejoy 48-yard line. Wildcats are right up there ready to go once the official puts that ball down.
Lacey, Sanchez, and T-Meyer in the game.
Trips to the left with a single receiver out to the right, and it'll be a running play to Davis. He breaks the tackle. He's across the 45, and it's going to be brought down at the 44-yard line. 44-yard line, and now a big leopard is down on the ground, and a timeout taken for injury timeout here, and the training staff are looking at that leopard injured with 4:14 left here in the fourth quarter. Lovejoy 34, the Wildcats 24, and let's take a break for injury and back in a moment.
And we're back at Leopard Stadium after that injury timeout. The Wildcats have the ball 3rd and 1 down on, looks like about the 43-yard line, Don.
All right, that sounds good. With 3rd down and 1. That was Brian Kotecki, and we're pretty sure that was a cramp caused by this extreme hot weather. And here's a handoff. Davis, he has the first down. Davis thunders all the way down around the 36-yard line. Or a 35-yard line. First down and 10 for the Wildcats. They still have 4 minutes, but they need to score like 2 minutes ago. Because or at least, and then they're going to have to try like an onside kick. So a lot
where first down as they move the chains. They're getting going quick.
Absolutely. Two receivers left and right. Wallace back in the shotgun, waiting for the snap. And takes the snap. He steps up into the pocket, fires an out pattern. It's caught across the 20 to the 15. The receiver running down there around the 10-yard line, and then a lot of contact and a big gang tackle. It looked like a rugby scrum breaking out. Finally to the 11-yard line. That was Haney again, number 6 for the Wildcats. He's been all over the field. You can understand he's one of those players. They have to dole out his participation time very carefully because he's everywhere. Wildcats first down now from the 11-yard line. Back to Wallace. He throws the ball over the middle. Into a big crowd trying to get it into Sanchez.
He's double covered.
Oh, yeah, at least. I saw at least three red
triple
jerseys.
Covered, yeah. The Leopards read that play, but Sanchez went right across the middle and couldn't
the good
get
thing
to the ball.
Was about that throw, though, it was away. It was out of harm's way, where it wasn't in danger of being intercepted. So second down and 10 from the 11-yard line for Wallace. He'll take the snap, throws a pass out. It is caught around the 15, and that's Haney again across the 10 down to around the 8-yard line. Wildcats trying to score quickly, but time marches on here at 3:16 and counting. So it's second down and 7 from around the 8-yard line. Wildcats trip receivers to the left. If it was easy, they'd do it every time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. About a 4-yard gain on that reception.
And now here's a fade into the end zone and incomplete. I think once again it perhaps was Wade. Is kind of their favorite fade receiver.
Yes, and a defender got a hand on that as they all jumped for the ball. And so here comes...
Well, you need a touchdown and a field goal. So
might as well get the field goal first because it's fourth down.
You read my mind there. This is a 25-yard field goal for Brandon Zavala. And again, Cody is doing the holding for the Wildcats. Gets a good snap. The ball is down. The kick by Zavala. And the kick is no good. So that, that gums the works. Timeout taken by Lovejoy. Has 2:53 left. And the field goal no good. So Wildcats trail Lovejoy 34-24. Let's take a break. Back in a moment.
3, 2, 1.
They are re-kicking the field goal and there's the kick, and this one is good. So the Wildcats get a second chance. Obviously, I don't know if timeout was called by Lovejoy.
Maybe they were trying to ice the kicker. We suffer from the officials not being mic'd into us, so we can't hear. And they waved off that first kick that we thought looked good, and they waved it off like it was no good, took a timeout, and then they came back, and Zavala put it through the upright. So the Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go, Wildcats, as they put 3 more points on the board. The Wildcats 27. The Leopards 34. Don?
All right, and that was a good field goal. I think that was 25 yards.
Yes, as they were backed up there, back to the.
Yeah, my best guess is that Lovejoy called timeout, and again, whether it was to ice the kicker or for whatever reason, that overruled everything. So it overruled the missed field goal. Boy, how fortuitous for the Wildcats!
And the Wildcats come out for the next J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. J. Hodge Chevrolet, home of the $100 Wildcat touchdown discount, which we're up to 3 of those now, I believe, Don. So $300 off any new or used vehicle tomorrow at J. Hodge Chevrolet. Both kickers line up. We never know who's going to kick. Osi Lopez and Zavala both about to roll.
All right, let's see. It's going to have to be onside, and it's Lopez. I think it hit off of a Lovejoy player and then just went right out of bounds. Boy, that's what you would like, a deflection like that, but not one that gets out of bounds so quickly. So the Wildcats have got to play some really heady defense right now. See if I can spot this scoreboard and see. Looks like they only have maybe 1 timeout left so that's not going to help matters. There's just 2:50 left. Almost need a miracle fumble or something now. Once again, Lovejoy with the unsuccessful onside kick. They've got the ball right about midfield, and they can just about run it out. The Wildcats are going to need some help. They trail by 7, 34-27. Back to Rucker. They'll hand off Nadeau and hope that they can get that sophomore to fumble, but he didn't this time. And it's up to the 48-yard line, and the clock is running right now. The Wildcats decide to forego their final timeout right now. And so it'll be second down and 8. And, of course, Lovejoy will be taking everything they can get off the 25-second clock.
They're taking their time. The clock ticks down, 2:22 left.
Yeah, and 17 still left on the play clock there. I mean, where they're just they let that thing get down to 5 or something. Now the quarterback, with about 9 seconds left, gets into gear here. You don't want to get penalized. That'll stop the clock. So 2nd down and 8, and back to Rucker. Hands off, running back tripping through there, and then going for the first down. And my goodness, that just about puts the cherry on top right there. The first down, that was final, I would say, about the final nail in the coffin, unless the Wildcats can get something unexpected here, because it's almost knee time now. I mean, there's 1:54 left. And Lovejoy with the ball at the Wildcat 40-yard line. And Rucker back in the shotgun. And again, letting that clock roll down a little bit more, down to inside 10 seconds. Now he's ready. And the snap, and handoff to running back Nadeau, and he's sweeping around and really protecting that football, and Wildcats can't pry it loose, and he goes down to the 35-yard line, gain of 5, and now the Wildcats are going to take their last timeout. I think we will see that timeout on the scoreboard go to 0 if I got that figured out correctly.
Yep. Timeout, Sulphur Springs.
1:17 left in the 4th quarter. Lovejoy leading 34.
With the Wildcats 27.
27. And let's take a break. Back in a moment.
Back at Lovejoy Stadium, the Wildcats 27, the Leopards 34. Leopards have the ball and have the opportunity to run out the clock.
It is 2nd down and 5 here from the 35-yard line in Wildcats territory, but again, just
17. Oh, they're changing it.
122.
They added 5 seconds back onto the clock.
122.
So
somehow that looked weird before it reset. It looked like 12.2 or something. It was like they had something out of place. But anyway, they've got it reset now, and Rucker back in the shotgun. We'll take the snap. Boy, somebody flinched. That'll stop everything. Leopard player on the right side moved too fast before the snap. But again, and actually 1 second went off the clock.
Right.
So now it's back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the Wildcats 40.
They put the second back on the clock.
They did, and I think that's proper. I think that just slipped off there.
Now a real big advantage for the Wildcats, maybe just kind of prolonging things, but another chance for something to happen.
Just got to have a wild and crazy kind of fumble. Another player flinched, looked like. Here's a handoff again to Nadeau, racing in there, and he is tackled and down at the 33-yard line, 3 yards short of the first down. And, well, let's see. Whistles blow.
Number 6, Chase Payne, the tackle for the Wildcats.
And time is taken here, so the scoreboard must have been wrong on the timeouts. Timeout taken by the Wildcats. 1:13 left in the 4th quarter. It's Lovejoy 34, Wildcats 27. We'll take the break with them. Back in a moment. And back to play now, 3rd down and 3. 1:13 left here in the 4th quarter. Rucker back in the shotgun for Lovejoy. They're on the Wildcats 33-yard line. And here's a handoff again to Nadeau, racing in there. And he's going to be across the 20 as a first down inside the 15-yard line. Oh, there's a flag flying down there. There's some late stuff going on. And it's kind of death by water torture here in the final seconds of this one. It's like it's inevitable, but
still waiting to call the play. They're not moving the change yet. Of course, the time stopped at 1:06. Leopards 34, Wildcats 27, waiting for the call.
Let's see. Unsportsmanlike against the Wildcats. Oh, and somebody thrown out of the ball game. Boy, what a great end for the ball game here.
It must have been, I can't tell.
So that'll extra yards tacked on if Lovejoy wishes to. Of course, they're only up by 7. I guess you could say that, they were just in dire need of more points to make sure that, if something weird happened, like a fumble or such. But the ball has been moved down to about the 7.5-yard line.
So is that
a
half a distance? Or?
Yeah, 106 is all that's left, and this is the knee play. Todd Ford is not going to run the score up on Greg Owens. I mean, this, and you know, the knee is one of my favorite plays if my team that I like is running it, because it always signals that you've got the game in hand. And so we figure a couple of knee plays, and Lovejoy will capture their first win of the year at 34-27. The Wildcats, it'll be one of those coulda, shoulda, wouldas. You'll think about a million things that could have changed the ball game one way or the other. But right now, Lovejoy is just going to take the knee here, and as the clock is running. And they've still got 12 seconds before they have to snap the ball. And they're going to take just about all of it. And there's the snap and the knee. R.W. Rucker.
Yep, and that's going to do it.
Well, they're going to, yeah, you're right. There's less time on the clock than on the play clock.
The Leopards and the Wildcats both head to their respective sidelines with Wildcats 27 and the Leopards 34. They're all lining up to greet each other at midfield.
Always like this, sportsmanlike. It's been a tough contest, but you know, once again, a coulda, shoulda, woulda game. There's going to be a lot of, well, if this would have happened, if this hadn't have happened, and you know, just one team wins and one team loses, and that's the way it is. And Wildcats come up short on this one. They go 0-2. But as Greg Owens, he said last week at one point about Frisco Wakeland, he said this ball game really doesn't affect our season any at all.
Right, a good contest.
You want to win, but at the same time, it really gets started next week.
Sure. As we head to Terrell next week and start our district season, all those contests, so that's what really counts, and will count toward the playoffs. And
use these non-district games to get ready for district games. And you want to win them. You know, you always want to win them. But I would say we saw some progress with this team tonight based on what we saw a week ago. Oh. And that's what they're aiming for.
Absolutely. A lot of good receptions and a lot of good running. So I think the Wildcats are poised and ready for the district opener next week in Terrell, and can start building on all that they've learned. Hopefully nobody's got too bunged up tonight. I don't think anybody was injured in the last game, and so hopefully nobody has been injured in this game, and they can stay healthy and keep moving on through the season.
And once again, final score, Wildcats 27, but Lucas Lovejoy 34. In the first game that I know of that the Wildcats have ever played in this stadium, I do not believe they have been here before. Lovejoy, not that old of a school. It's probably, I'm not sure how many seasons they've been around, but it's not one of those that goes back a long time. And so, once again, I think we saw a lot of improvement in this Wildcat team, but once again, just enough of those little bitty things, coulda, shoulda, woulda, that you're going to remember that, man, if this would have happened and that hadn't happened and all that kind of stuff, and you can just drive yourself crazy that way. And not real good news from volleyball either tonight, as they played over in Edgewood, lost 3-1. Lost the first one 25-20, won 25-13, then lost 25-15 and 25-19. Pretty close, and they've had that kind of luck with Edgewood this year. Edgewood has just been a little bit better, especially in their home gym there, as they played both of those matches and won them. But the Wildcats will be home against Emory Rains on Tuesday. The Lady Cats will, and you want to get out and see that volleyball team as they play some good volleyball. And football is over for this one, and again, we'll be in Terrell in 1 week as district play begins, and that will be the emphasis. And you want to remember things and that went right, and also remember as lessons the things that went wrong. But basically, you know, just kind of put this one aside and start thinking as quickly as you can about Terrell, because that really matters. That's district play. and that determines whether you get in the playoffs or not. So, Chad, any final thoughts on this?
Well, just we look forward to Terrell next week, and then homecoming back at the Prim the week after.
Indeed. And enjoyed the band's performance tonight, and they will, continue. They'll be back in front of the home crowd in a couple of weeks for homecoming, and I know everybody will enjoy that. So let's wrap this one up.
So from Lovejoy Stadium, and the Leopards defeat the Wildcats 34-27, and we'll see you back here next week on KSST.